Hello and welcome to Portsmouth for the final showdown of this year's Under-23 Inter Services football. I'm Kath Brazier and we're live on BFBS as we have been throughout the tournament, and it's all come down to this, the decider. Now, the first week there was a goalless draw between the RAF and the Royal Navy, and it really kicked off the tournament in Aldershot last week, where the Army made a giant leap forward in their hunt for the title.
This is must win for the RAF. A title hangs in the balance. Enter the British Army. But it will be Trice towards the back post, and he's headed across the goal and in, and the Army do have the lead. It's Josh Rogerson.
I think he might have given a free kick actually.
I didn't see a flag go up, but yeah, you are right, the goal has been disallowed. The flag stayed down, and Owen James this time has scored and put the Army in front. Bowman's given it away, and the shot from distance is in, and the Army have a second, and the RAF have literally gifted them the second goal. And that might be the chance the RAF needed to go in, because with 15 minutes to go and 3 goals to get, you can't see those glaze over the bar. Army 3, RAF 0. The Air Force's title challenge is over, and it's all down to a winner-takes-all Navy versus Army next week.
Well, that time is now. The maths is very simple. The Army only need a draw to take the title. The Royal Navy need a win. So let's talk to both camps now ahead of kick-off. You're in a good position coming into this final game with a 3-0 win, and a fairly impressive one as well. How do you sort of temper the emotions in the dressing room ahead of a decider like this one?
We're really happy with last week's performance, but that's gone. And today is all about this 90 minutes, and we know so much can happen, and we've just got to be focused to get a good performance again tonight.
Can you take anything from the first game when the Royal Navy played, and obviously you were on commentary then, played the RAF? Is it too much to sort of look back 2 weeks ago, or is it very much a case of, and I know you do this, just concentrating on your own game?
A mixture of both. We've analysed the Navy's game. We know that they've played since as well, which they might have different personnel or different type of game, and we understand that the second game you have to go out and win it if they want to win this competition. So we've looked at them, but we have focused on what we do and what we do well, and we've really topped up them strengths over this week. So yeah, it's going to be a game where we're just going to see what happens at the end.
But an evening game and at the home of Navy football, or at least the home of Navy sport, does that enter into the mix at all?
Oh, we're away from home, you know, we're visiting the Navy, and the pitch is in great condition, thankfully, and it's going to allow a great spectacle, I'm sure, for those that are watching tonight.
Can I just say, you did a wonderful job on commentary last week, but that must have been a nice game to be able to watch and kind of pick apart as a commentator as well, as you needed that sort of, you would have been looking for what the Army can offer as well. So did you give you good gen in the lead up to this game?
Yeah, absolutely. It was good to be there. Thank you for having me. I enjoyed it as well. It was a good afternoon, and football wise, yeah, really enjoyed the game overall, and obviously, yeah, great intel for me to have a look at what to expect from the Army this evening.
And how has that sort of worked your training in the lead up to this game, and what have you said to the guys? Because they looked a good outfit, has to be said. Yeah, well, we've worked around obviously kind of imposing ourselves on the Army's style, so we've worked on some work on that this week, and with always in the mind of how the Army are going to approach the game. So yeah, obviously in possession, out of possession, how we'll approach it has been the focus for this week, purely based on what we'll see tonight. I know you don't want to give too much away, but home advantage, does that mean anything anymore?
I think so, yeah, massively. We play here, obviously, all of our home games in this stadium, most of them in the evenings. So for us, this is a standard match day for like any other evening of the year. Basically, that's how we've approached it. So we've gone through the same process, and yeah, we'll all arrive at the same time, and we'll hit the game as we would do any other game, really.
Do you think the Army are obviously in an advantageous position given the scoreline last week, but the pressure's kind of on them, but yet again maybe because there's more pressure on you to win the game rather than just draw it like they need, do you think that puts you in a good mindset?
100%, yeah. I think both teams want to come and win it, irrelevant of what, if we were out of it or they were out of it, we'd still want to win it. So I think in terms of that, both sides will go for it, they'll be fully up for it. I'm sure the Army aren't coming here thinking a draw's good enough. Yeah. So if they do, that would probably be an advantage for us, because mindset then might be slightly different, but I can't imagine it somehow.
Great, thanks a lot, Chris, and good luck.
Thank you very much.
The Army may be feeling confident, but the Royal Navy are at home. So it's time now for me to hand over to the commentary team of BFBS's John Knighton, and he's joined by UK Armed Forces senior players Phil Bright and Sean Thompson.
Well, thanks very much indeed, Kath, and a very warm welcome to our rather chilly night here on the south coast in Portsmouth as we look forward to the deciding match in this season's Inter Services Under-23 Championship. And it's a very straightforward choice tonight between the Royal Navy, the home team, and the British Army, who are the away team. The statistics are very simple. A Navy win will give them the title to retain it for the second year. Of course, they won it last year. But the Army only need a draw. A draw or a win will be just as well for them. It'll be good enough for them. So the statistics are very simple. We won't have extra time. We won't need penalties or anything like that. So we will be ending this game on 90 minutes, depending on, of course, what happens over this 90 minutes of time. And it's a great pleasure for me to welcome this evening two members of the UCAF team who themselves have got experience. I know that Sean Thompson has got lots of experience playing with the under-23s. In fact, he captained the Army under-23 side. Phil Bright went straight into the full RAF team, but they're both UCAF players, and it's great to have them with us this evening. Gentlemen, Phil and Sean, great to have you alongside tonight, and looking forward to a cracking game.
Really looking forward to it, John. You won't get me off the fence for a result, but yeah, with the scenarios in play, I'm expecting a good game.
And, you know, Sean, goal scoring is going to be all important tonight. You're quite used to scoring a few goals, aren't you?
You're not wrong there, John. I have scored one or two here before, and in previous games as well, I've scored a couple as well. So, yeah, absolutely. Goals change games, so it's important to get off to a good start tonight.
It certainly is. Well, we're going through the two teams very, very shortly. They're just about to come out onto the field now. As you can hear, the public address system is now welcoming both teams onto the field, coming out from right to left-hand side. The two teams going to be introduced very shortly to the VIPs, who are waiting patiently on the touchline to be introduced to the players. They've both done extremely well, of course, to get to this stage. Looking out for things tonight, Captain John Gordon, Executive Chairman of Royal Navy Football, Brigadier Andy Cox, who's the Chairman of Army FA, and Mr Dave McGarrell, our Royal Navy FA trustee and representative of the Under-23 team sponsors ESS. Those are the VIPs now being introduced to both of the teams, the Army being introduced first. Also our officials this evening, they all come from the Royal Air Force. Sergeant Mark Foreman, with assistants are Flight Lieutenant George Salloway and Flight Sergeant Steve Monk, with the fourth official is Corporal Ryan Shepherd. So what sort of a game can we expect, guys, tonight? Because, you know, it's a straightforward shootout, isn't it? With all to play for. It's all or nothing. So we should see lots of goals, hopefully.
Hopefully, and obviously with the Navy needing to win, they'll come out. They are not able to sit back. The Army don't necessarily need to come out, but the way that they played against the RAF next week, you'll assume they'll just they'll keep it the same as usual.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Army needs to come out the exact same as they did in the first game. No change of plan. Come out nice and strong, nice and aggressive, and go from there.
And of course the Navy weren't able to score in the opening game against the Air Force, so they have got to find the back of the net. They did defend extremely well, even though they went down to 10 men, and a big thing, obviously we'll check the two teams very shortly, but after the national anthems, which are now coming up for the national anthem, as we stand to attention for His Majesty the King. So the formalities over then, as respects paid to His Majesty the King. Let's run through the two teams, shall we? First of all, starting with the Army, who are the visitors this evening, and their coach, Gerwyn Griffiths, no major injury issues to have to deal with, but he has made one significant change to the team this evening from that starting 11 that beats the RAF. Callum Vincent, prolific goal scorer from the midfield position, he comes into the side for Dylan McGinley, who drops down to the bench. And there's some significance there for the Army team. Of course, they were scoring prolifically in that first game, and of course a couple of their goal scorers came from Aaron Moore and Owen James as well, so they'll be looking to add to those goals that they scored in the opening game. As far as the Royal Navy are concerned, as they just do their final bit of limbering up on the pitch before they get started, their man in charge, their manager Chris James, has had to make a couple of changes, but probably the biggest relief as far as he's concerned is that his captain Jack Wright is available to play in this game, despite picking up a red card in the match against the RAF 2 weeks ago. And the reason for that is that the Navy did play a friendly fixture last week, obviously to keep their momentum going in this competition, but he's a really important player for them. So two really key players tonight for this game for either side. One a prolific goal scorer, one very much a stopper and a captain.
Yeah, going back to it, clever scheduling from the Navy to get that game in last week. Player friendly, get your skipper back, and like you said, they defended really well against the RAF 2 weeks ago, so you'd like to think he can make a difference for them tonight.
And Tomo, from the Army's point of view, of course, you know, they've got people who know how to find the back of the net already, and that could be absolutely crucial tonight.
Yeah, and absolutely. Good goals win you games at the end of the day, John. And for the Navy there, having their skipper back in will be very important for them, and hopefully, you know, can do half a job for him tonight. But I think they've got a big task tonight to keep those attacking players of the Army quiet. I think they'll have a tough one tonight, so we'll see how they get on.
Well, it's all going to envelop in front of our eyes as we continue throughout this evening. And don't forget, wherever you are this evening, you're more than welcome to be joining us. We'll be delighted to have your company wherever you are around the world. And we'd like to know that you're with us, and wherever you are this evening around the world, then please get in touch and let us know. Obviously, we're following things on Facebook and on our YouTube channel tonight. So good evening to David Robert Ball, Andrew Pearce, and we've got a message. Con Price is watching. Good evening to you, Conrad. Helen Richardson, who of course is a familiar face to both of my colleagues who are working with me this evening from the UCAF team, Phil and Sean. She says, great to hear my UCAF players, Phil and Sean, are on comms tonight. And I don't think she'll be too far away from here in Portsmouth somewhere, will she?
Evening, Hells.
Good evening, Helen.
So we're just about to get ourselves underway. Craig Horseman says, come on, the Royal Navy. And there'll be a lot of support as the stand here at the Victory Stadium is filling up nicely with quite a few supporters, but be good to have the numbers swell by those of you who are watching wherever you are around the world. It'll be the Royal Navy who'll get us underway in this opening, or rather this closing fixture of the 2023 Inter Services Under-23 season. The Navy gets started straight away, and instantly a good charge down there for the Army by Owen James. Goes out of play, and an instant corner then or thrown I should say rather, to the Army. And
that's the sort of start they want, John. Right off the front foot, get in their end, and hopefully get that early goal.
So the throwing then on that far side of the field, aim for the big men in the middle, nodded on, but straight away the Navy's captain Jack Wright getting in there to get the ball cleared away. Navy clear the danger. Bit of head tennis going on in the middle of the park at the moment. But instantly the Army are under pressure with Bryant Polius there. The ball goes out of play. It'll be another throw into the Army. So it's a good start for the Army in these early moments. Yeah,
they're applying the pressure early, John, and I think Griff would have said that in any team. The first 10 minutes are so important. So yeah, it's a great start for the Army, and this is the exact start they would want.
So it looks like it's going to be a long throw in then coming in from this.
Looks like Aaron Moore.
Aaron Moore taking the throw in. Aaron Moore, who scored, of course, in that first match but headed clear by the big captain, by Jack Wright. He's such an important player to them, and they did really miss him, of course, in those last few minutes of the game against the Air Force. Defended really well without him, but he's such an important man in their side.
I think this might be the topic of the game as well, John. I think it will be quite direct to start off with. Well, that's a corner ball, I think.
It's gone for a goal kick.
Goal kick.
Matthew Eyston just getting himself in the right place there to deny the Army, but the Army very much in the ascendancy in these first few moments. Good early touch of the ball then for the Navy's keeper, Dane Rigby.
It's a good strong header there by Ale. And again.
That's going to roll harmlessly out of play.
McCormick sees that out for another goal kick.
Just to confuse us slightly, there has both teams actually changed their numbers for their numbers 2 and 6. So Joshua Mead Nind is wearing number 6 now, and Matthew Eyston is wearing number 2 for the Royal Navy. And a similar thing with the Army. Their number 2 is Josh Rogerson. He would normally wear number 6. He's actually wearing number 6, and number 2 is Danny Constable.
They don't want to make it easy for us, John, do they?
No. These changes always come at the last minute. I think it's all to do with the size of the lads and the shirts, but
yeah, we'll say no more there, John. We'll say no more.
They don't have their numbers on the back or anything like that.
And Aaron's through.
Immediately for the Army, and that's put out of play again for a corner this time.
Yeah, that's great pressure there from number 9, Aaron. They caused that number 3 a bit of a problem so far. So again, really great start from the Army.
Yeah, it's been relentless from the Army. The Navy haven't been in the Army half yet.
Long may it continue, Brighty.
So it's Bryant Polius who'll take the corner then from this near side as we're watching. It's a good one too, but who's on the end of it? Jack Wright, of
handball.
course.
There's a big penalty.
Play for a handball
out there.
The referee is waving play on.
Oh, it's a risky one.
It was a risky one, and eventually the Army haven't got it cleared.
And the Navy start to pile on the pressure now from a poor back pass there from Poulis.
You just wonder whether it's going to take something like that to separate these two teams, and we get an early goal, then we could be in for a goal fest here.
Yeah, I think it's important they don't get carried away with the occasion here and try and slow it down a little bit. Not get carried away with the long balls and the high pressure. But it looks like there could be a goal here. There could be a goal
opportunity
here.
For the number 11.
Good
save, yeah. And that was Owen James who had the chance, and he scored against the Air Force last week.
But that's inter-service football down to a T. The Army have been in the Navy half for the entire of the game so far. One ball into the Army half, and there's confusion, half a chance, but the Army dealt with it well, and now they're back on the front foot.
And they are again with Polius. The Navy bringing it clear.
They need to set it down a little bit more now. Set it down, start playing the football, start creating those spaces.
Be interesting to see how the Roche brothers fare this evening. They didn't get much of a look in against the Air Force 2 weeks ago. Number 9 for them is Sol, and number 10 is Manny. Not often you have two brothers from different units actually playing together in the same team, but the Navy have that tonight.
And the same age group.
And the same age group, yeah. They're not twins, I don't think. Here's one of the Roche brothers trying to find his brother.
That's nice and strong there by Danny Constable there.
Turning into a real scrap at the moment. The Navy just maybe feel they're getting into this game now, having survived these early few moments of...
That's a great ball there by number 8,
pressure,
in behind the corner there.
Opportunity coming down then on this left-hand side. This is Callum Hill. Hill gets the cross in. Chasing after it is Polius again. But that's a really good clearance from the Navy. Picked up by Alfie Moulding, who's of course the Army captain tonight. Ball goes through, and it's on the end of it is Aaron Moore.
think there seems to be an early theme here already, John, where
it's really open, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Number 8, the Army there, Luke Trice, he's trying to find those little spaces in behind the left and right back. That seems to be an early theme at the moment.
So the throw-in coming in for the Navy. We just had a poll this evening. Over 100 of you have voted tonight, and 73.8% say it's going to be an Army win. So thank you for taking part in our flash poll this evening to find out who you think is going to win this under-23 championship.
I didn't take part in that one, John.
The majority say the Army. Did you vote 73 times then?
I think it crashed after a while. So no, I didn't get to vote, but if I did, that I'd be the 101, and I'd be in the Army's favour as well.
That's probably based on last week's performance, John. They were really impressive. They
were impressive, particularly in the second half against the Air Force. But the Navy have shown what a strong side they are at the back in defence. It's what they can do up front that is going to matter this evening, because they, of course, have got to score. They've got to get a goal. 0-0 is no use to them whatsoever.
No. And by the looks of it as well, John, I think the Army have taken up a 3-5-2 here, and they're playing quite high. They've got plenty of the possession at the moment and plenty of the ball. But the Navy are just slowly easing into it now, and as we can see, they're starting to play the football a little bit more now. It's not too hectic, which is expected again within the first 5-10 minutes.
Absolutely. But still 0-0. We've been playing just over 7 minutes here into the 8th minute of this match. Ball goes wide, then onto the left-hand side.
You've got Alfie Moulding there and Danny Constable just playing it nicely at the back there, inviting that pressure on from the Navy. Yeah.
Charged down by Roche. That seemed a bit unfair. He was very close to the ball. I'm surprised the referee gave handball for that, but there we are.
Yeah, a little bit unjust, especially with that early penalty shout that he seemed to ignore as well. So,
and Rogerson's ball there goes through harmlessly to out of play on this wide open pitch here.
Yeah, for all the good opening pressure from the Army in the opening minutes, the Navy have somewhat ridden a little bit of a storm and not really created anything for themselves yet, but they've got certainly more of a foothold in the game.
A few more messages coming through. Lee Phillips says, bring it home, lads. Brighty and Tomo on the comms. Bring it home, lads. Best of luck to the Army. Callum Hill for the Ballon d'Or, says Rutando Rangiski. I think that's right. Husky says, come on, the Army. And let's go, Army, says Dude Lebrowski. Husky, Portsmouth Barracks could do well with a lick of paint, apparently. Well, I'll have to have a word with them about that. So keep those messages coming in on Facebook and also on our YouTube channel.
That's one way of being heard, that.
It certainly is.
Aaron Moore closes down the keeper again.
Yeah, he does. It was a difficult clearance. Here's the Navy's Jim Cox with a ball looking for one of the Roche brothers. But Manny not quite there in time. Felix Norman wearing number 13, by the way, although he is the first choice goalkeeper. His second season with the under-23. He is a regular core and regular player there in goal. Ball goes forward with the captain for the Army.
Tries to put it up to James there, and James just struggled to hold on to the ball. Hopefully, with a few extra touches, you'll be able to get his eye in early.
But he's really good play. Yeah, that's Owen James again, who's...
And it's a strong challenge there by number 10 for the Royal Navy.
Referee says...
Roch. I can definitely see Owen James being a real handful for their back line today. So hopefully, both those centre-backs are on top of their games.
Well, he's got a great pedigree, hasn't he, at under academy level for teams like Wycombe Wanderers, Oxford United. Great throw-in as well comes in, but it'll be the Navy who get it clear, trying to get it clear. The big number 9 for the Army, Aaron Moore. Cross comes in, it's sorted out though by the Navy. And this pattern really developing at constant Army pressure, just as they did against the Air Force last week.
And Danny Constable does a nice little turn there from centre-back, and he's driving forward. He's out of position now, though, so hopefully the Navy don't counter-attack. And they play brilliant football there.
Finds
nice
Roche. Here's Roche again.
Oh, he's unlucky there.
And he's still going through.
Here we go, another nice
here
through.
Comes Roche again. The other one. Oh, but
unlucky.
he couldn't control it. And the referee has said he was offside anyway.
Oh, he should be having a shot there, though, John. He should be testing
Sol Roche, yeah. I think the ball just sort of got stuck a bit under his feet, didn't it?
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a let-off there for the Army. I think the little lapse of concentration. Danny Constable drives forward, and I think Trice gives away the ball there on the wing. And, they've been lucky there, and the liner has saved them.
It's a good passage of play, though, from the Navy in the middle. That'll give them a bit of confidence.
No, absolutely, Brightly.
The Army with Alfie Moulding. Across to Rogerson. Going through forward, and Aaron Moore. Good control, but can't keep that ball. That was a late challenge, had the referee.
Yeah, it's a good call by the referee there. He's tried playing advantage, and there's no advantage, so he's given a Navy free kick.
Yeah, Bradley Cox taking the hit.
Yeah, Luke Trice was a little bit late there on his chasing number 4's touch.
Our referee tonight is Sergeant Mark Foreman of the Royal Air Force. All RAF officials this evening. There's McCormick.
Luke Trice passes it out wide to Aaron Moore. Aaron Moore back inside to Vincent. It's a cute little turn there, but it just seems, again, like you just said earlier, John, it seems to get stuck under their foot then. They can't quite get their foot on it. But at the moment, Vincent's down at the moment. I think he's caught a bit of a knock. I'm sure he'll be fine.
Yeah, a bit of a late challenge. The referee, I think, has said, was it a free kick? It looks like he might have given the foul for the late challenge.
I think Vincent would be a key player for them tonight, John. Very technical on the ball. I'm just hoping he'll be able to find those little half space and those half spots, playing that number 10 role. I'm just hoping the ball don't bypass him too much, with the approach seeming to be in behind the left and right back at the moment. So hopefully he gets on the ball in that number 10 position.
Rogerson then with a throw. Aimed for Owen James, but maybe we'll get it clear. Almost trying to hit the Army on the counter. And Rogerson keeps it in play.
Good.
Ball eventually is hoofed out of play.
It's a clearance from Islington there.
Yeah.
Hits it far over the stand. If no one retrieves that ball, John, I'll be having that one later.
Well, they seem to have lost quite a few already. So,
no, they're in the back of my car, John.
Cox eventually puts the ball out of play. Ryan Adair says, go Navy, beat the Army. Paula Brighthill says, well done, Brighty, on the comms. You've got a fan there in Paula, Brighty.
I'm just waiting for my fans to come in now, John. They'll be in a minute.
Thanks, Mum.
And Leon Duke says, football's always the winner. Ah, Brighty. Keep those messages coming in, and we'd just like to know where you are as well, where you're watching around the world. I think when we were down with the RAF Navy game a couple of weeks ago, we had people viewing us in New Delhi in India. We had California and Australia as well. So wherever you are, I know it's a bit late in Australia, maybe early morning, but if you're over on the west coast of the United States today, maybe you're tuning into us on our YouTube channel. But here come the Army. Great opportunity for them now. It's well played, good defending by the Navy again, getting stuck in very immediately to keep the Army at bay. But here's Luke Trice.
Yeah, he's calming it down a little bit there, John. From the looks of it here, it looks like the Navy are playing a 5-4-1, and they're very compact. They're making it hard for the Army. And they're defending quite deep at the moment, so I think the Army's seen a lot more of the ball, but then the Navy seems to be dealing with it well. I just think on the counter-attack, maybe they're going to be a little bit lonely up there with the number 9 chasing down those balls in his zone. So hopefully they can retain the ball a bit more, build it up, and not rush as much.
Yeah, there's a lot hinging really on Sol Roche tonight.
Yeah.
Who is treading that lone furrow as the sole striker. But as we said, the onus has got to be on the Navy to score. A 0-0 will be absolutely fine as far as the Army's concerned. But I can't see it being a 0-0 draw, to be honest.
Neither team's come out like they're playing for a 0-0 at least.
But we've been playing for just over 16 minutes, and we are still to see our first goal here at the Victory Stadium in Portsmouth tonight. Rogerson.
Again, Rogerson just hitting that gap in between the centre-back and the left-back there, and Aaron Moore collects the ball, but the liner was called offside there.
Moore, his run just ahead of the ball, but you can see what they're trying to do. Just trying to beat that offside trap and beat the big three at the back, who are so far having a lot of success in keeping the Army at bay.
Yeah, and I think that'll be a pattern throughout the game, John. I think if they're going to try and play long balls down the throats of these Navy centre-backs, I think they'll clear up throughout the game. So I think it's important, and I think Griff's definitely found that out, is to try and hit those little half spaces in between the left centre-backs and right centre-backs.
Throwing then to the Navy, taken by Jim Cox. He gets it back. Trying to play it forward. Roche trying to chase it, and the Army happy to put that out of play. Josh Rogerson on this right back position here for the Army. Cox then with the throw.
Yeah, he seems to be the right side of a free, John. So again, when they haven't got the ball, he's looking like he's on the right hand side there.
Things being really well marshalled at the back by Jack Wright. Back to his goalkeeper.
So it's great to see that Aaron Moore, number 9 for the Army, is applying pressure all the time. I'd like to hopefully see he can do that for 90 minutes. Because I think he would tire if he carries on doing that.
Here's Roche aiming for his brother in the middle. Good punch on the goalkeeper.
Or it could be a free kick here. I think the referee's played advantage. Can he get a shot off though? Yeah, he's given the free kick.
Well, he has given the free kick in the end. The second foul was in a more dangerous position, really, but I think he had to go back to his original decision, didn't he?
Great pressure, though. Great pressure from the Navy there.
The Navy will be much happier with this last 5-10 minutes. Yeah. They've withstood like the early Army storm, and without creating anything, they're certainly much more in the game than they were.
Well, this is Manny Roche, who looks like he's going to be going for goal.
You got to shoot from here, John.
Big wall. He's a long way out, though.
I'd probably give it a miss if it was me, John. I don't think I could kick it that far.
He's around 30 yards. Around 30 yards out. What can he do with this?
Roch steps up.
Oh, he finds his way through. And actually, it was touched on by his brother Sol.
Yeah.
But it went straight to the goalkeeper. But this is the best period of play, as you say, by the Navy so far in this match. But the free kick goes the way of the Army.
Yeah, Cox receives the ball on the halfway line there, and he tries putting it back into Roch. But the Army are defending nicely there, and Roch is giving away a cheap foul. But Alfie Moulding plays out to Josh, and Josh is driving up the pitch.
Rogerson holds off a couple of challenges, and he is fouled, so the referee. Navy bench not very happy with the decision.
No, it looks like Josh has bumped into his own player there, but yeah, a little bit of an Army-Navy sandwich.
There they are. Army have come out on top with this one, and Josh Rogerson will take it. The referee wants it taken again. Not happy. So 20 minutes played here in Portsmouth. It's a still night. It's been dry since we've been here middle of the afternoon, but I know they had some rain here on the south coast earlier today. So the pitch will be in a reasonable condition.
Yeah, I've noticed me and you, John, we're dressed for the occasion. I know if Sean Deitch was here tonight, he won't be very happy with me wearing a snud and all the comfies. But Brighty, I think he's overdone us a little bit tonight. He's looking smart.
Well,
I feel underdressed.
He's obviously decided he's going to be live on TV.
High standards, boys.
Navy with Roche. Here's a real opportunity for Solly Rush. Plays it back to the number 8, takes the shot.
What a save.
And it's a really good save. Norman had to be at his best to save it. That's the best save of the game so far.
And again, John, it's at number 10. Roch, he finds a little bit of a half space for the Navy there. He gives himself a couple of yards, and he puts off a brilliant shot from about 25 yards. And it's a great save by Norman.
Fraser Dempsey with the shot, and the goalkeeper had to be at his best to save it. The Navy showing what they can do going forward.
Coming a little bit late.
Dempsey going a little bit heavy in there. A few afters. I think there's going to be a yellow card brandished for that. It was a very hefty challenge.
Yeah, I think the handbags were thrown in there, John. I'm sure
there's a bit of a height difference as well between the two of them.
Yeah, I think
Alfie Moulding not taking too much nonsense.
Yeah, I think Dempsey is about 5 foot by the looks of it from here.
And in fact, it looks to me like Dempsey has come off worse for wear of that.
He's just clashed heads there, John, with Danny Constable.
Yeah.
6. I know Danny as well. Danny probably wouldn't have felt that. Dempsey definitely looks like he's come off worse.
But that's 2 shots on target now for the Navy. You could argue they've had the better of it now.
Absolutely, Brightly. Absolutely. We seem to have stopped play for a second whilst the...
as you say, that opening move, a really excellent save for the Army's Felix Norman. Bit of a break in play then.
And just going back to what Brighty said there, John, he's absolutely right. Although the Navy haven't had probably the fair share of possession, they've definitely had the better chances, and they've definitely put Norman under the cosh early off.
He had to be at his best to make that save, just to push it wide to the right-hand side. But still some treatment going on for Fraser Dempsey, the sort of player really that the Navy can't afford to lose, but he's still down. If there's any question about a head injury, then of course he will be removed from the pitch.
Hopefully he doesn't come off, John, because he's definitely had a bright start with Dempsey. That's a great shot from him there as well. So I think he'd be a key player for them. So hopefully it's not a loss. He can shake it off and then carry on.
Kevin Franks says, come on the Army. Kevin and Terry Franks out in Cyprus. Good evening to you out there in sunny Cyprus, where I'm sure it's a bit warmer than it is here on the south coast of England tonight. And Angela Parhill says, just tuned in. Good to hear Brighty in the commentary box again. But you've got some fans as well, actually, Tomo. Luke Nobby Noble says you're better than Wooly.
Well, that's very kind. Cheers, Luke.
And Sean, no doubt you're watching this evening. Sean Woolley would have been down tonight, but obviously work commitments such that it was difficult for him to get down here tonight. But it's great
John,
to have...
You don't have to say that, John.
It's great to have Tomo with us this evening.
I agree, John. I absolutely agree.
And good to spread the love around
absolutely.
a bit.
I was 7th choice, so John, I've checked the phone calls.
Anyway, Fraser Dempsey is up, and hopefully he's going to be able to carry on.
Yeah, I think he took a little knock on the nose there. He seems all right. Yeah. Hopefully, he comes straight back on.
He looks okay, which is good. But the free kick was for the Army. It'll be taken by Felix Norman, goalkeeper, wearing number 13 tonight.
Why is he wearing number 13?
Unlucky for some. I don't know. I've got a feeling that it's because it's about goalkeepers and players with shirts that fit.
It's a great ball again by Luke Triso, who picks it up on just the edge of the semicircle there, and he puts a great ball in again, John, in behind those centre-backs and that left-hand side. A common theme so far. I just think the Army just needs to... I think they've got to test the keeper. I think they have a great possession of the ball, keeping the ball nicely. I just think they just need to test the keeper.
It's a very familiar pattern in a way to the opening match, where the RAF had lots and lots of pressure, but only a couple of shots on target in the whole game. And the Navy have very successfully defended here. They're playing their game. It's 0-0. They need to score, remember. This is the thing we need to keep stressing tonight.
Yeah, and they've had the better chances, John. So they're definitely looking a stronger tie when they're going forward.
And of course, the Navy, they are the holders of the trophy, albeit by default last season, because the Army fielded an ineligible player and were therefore eliminated from the competition. But hopefully tonight, all the players on the pitch should be on the pitch. And I've checked all their ages, and they're definitely all the right age. So
some definitely look a lot older, though, John.
Now, you told me earlier, Brighton, that you'd actually never played under 23 football at this level.
Why is that? He was too good.
I never got the opportunity, John. Yeah, I went for trials. I was deemed not good enough, and then years later, luckily, got in the full setup.
Well, somebody slipped through the net, that's for sure. But, Tomo, of course, you captained the Army under 23 side, didn't you? But Navy just clearing up the damage once again. Dane Rigby. He's aiming for the man on that right-hand side, Braden Jones, Royal Marine. Can't keep it in play, so the Army will have the ball once again. A chance for them to launch an attack on the dark blue shirts here at HMS Temeraire, in the heart of Portsmouth.
Again, the Navy making it really hard here for the Army to try and play through. They're keeping it nice and compact.
They just battle for every ball.
Absolutely, absolutely. But again, like I said earlier, John, I think they just need to the Navy need to retain that ball a little bit as soon as they've lost it, because passing it up to Roch on his own up there, just it don't seem to be just sticking.
But I've got a feeling that the two managers, Chris James is probably going to be the happier man at the moment. As you say, they've had the on-target opportunity so far in this match.
But, John, the result's going the way of the Army.
But the results
if it stays 0-0.
Yep.
Yeah, I think before the game they'd probably been a little bit more worried with the scoreline of the Army RAF game, but I definitely think they've had the better chances and they're definitely not down and out.
But the Army have it at the moment on the middle of the field with the Callum Vincent, and he'll chase that ball again, but it's out of play, out of his reach.
It's a nice little play there by Hill and Vincent linking up, trying to do a little 1-2s there. I think with the Navy keeping it so compact tonight, I think maybe those wide areas for Hill and Bryant would be key tonight, trying to find them, trying to make that pitch nice and wide, and try and create some gaps in that Navy defensive midfield, because they're very solid at the moment, John. Very solid.
In the middle of the field then, here's the Army captain, Alfie Moulding. He'll play it across to Rogerson. Through ball into the middle, headed clear though by the Navy. Once again, holding their line really well.
That's strong there by Cox.
Yeah, and
the Navy left midfielder, very strong.
And great run from them, from Matthew Eyston.
Ball finds Vincent there and he flicks it on to Aaron Moore, who then flicks it on to James there, and he just doesn't seem to just catch on to that ball.
Dempsey challenging for it. Good work though for the Army. Out to
Luke Trice there, just calming it down a little bit there. He gets in the ball, he looks up, and he's trying to find that pass.
Great challenge from Roche again.
That's an inter-service tackle.
It certainly is. I'm not sure that was at the end. Had a bit of a roll around, but Azim Ale did the job.
Yeah, it's a strong challenge there by Azim. Yeah. Cox puts the right back under a little bit of pressure there, and then Hill is driving forward. Here's
Callum Hill on that left-hand side, but good defensive work then by Braden Jones to put the ball out of play. That was really important challenge from him.
Vincent picks up the ball on the edge of the box. If I just have a little bit of space here, I'd be getting that ball right in the box.
Cross from Vincent, and that's on target.
Yeah, a bit more of that from Vincent, hopefully. Hopefully he finds those little spaces. And again, I don't know if I'm going to count that as a shot, John, but it's definitely on target.
But it was fairly straightforward for Rigby in the end, but he had to be on his toes. I've seen goalkeepers make a mess of that.
He's made it. He's made
and here's Ale.
And he shoots.
A shot goes in, and it goes across the face of the goal. Owen James looking for his second goal of the tournament.
Yeah, I think he's tried having a shot there, John, but it's come off the centre-back's foot there, and Aaron Moore probably just half asleep a little bit there.
A few bit of dodgy defensive decisions being made by both teams at the moment.
The Navy back five have certainly grown into it. Even then, with that chance for the Army, it's blocked. It wasn't a free shot on goal.
Yeah, that number two for the Navy, the Islington, picked the ball twice there, and I think just needs to be on a half turn a bit more. Just keep an eye on the shoulder there. He's got away with that one. Again, Navy with possession, trying to build up.
Mead Nine eventually finds the ball onto this left-hand side with Jim Cox. Cox loses out though. Cleared up though by the Navy. And again, just some of their passing, just a little bit wayward.
Yeah, it's a little
being put under pressure. Jack McCormack, yeah,
a little bit nervy. I don't know why, because they seem to have a little bit more of the possession at the moment. So they just need to calm down, find a blue shirt, and just, you know, relax into it a little bit.
Rogerson then with the throw in. He collects it back again. Ale back to his big centre half, back to his captain Moulding. And Moulding will roll it across the field to Constable.
It's a wayward pass out by Alfie Moulding, I think.
Just a lack of concentration, really,
yeah,
isn't it?
it's under no pressure either.
I think more they're trying to get that ball left to right, nice and quick, and sometimes it's a late challenge there by James. I think it might be a card here, John.
Yeah.
Or maybe a Stern talking to.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can see the Army there, they're trying to get the ball left to right. I think they're rushing it a little bit.
Just a few extra mentions. Phil Carra-Bright on the mic. This is better than watching Spurs. Well, Fergus, I have to tell you, as a Leicester fan, I really enjoyed the game a couple of weeks ago down at the King Power when we put 4 goals past you. But I won't say too much more about that. I know that Sean Woolley is watching as well. Good evening to you, Sean.
I thought he was. I thought I could smell him.
Nick Glendon's just sent us a message as well, asking for a shout-out.
Big Nick.
So
right on, Glenn.
So Manny Roche being told to take the ball back to where the foul was committed, to take the free kick. And he's going to try and float that into the penalty area.
It's a good ball.
It's
I think
too close to the goalkeeper, or is it? Good punch from Norman.
And Vincent picks up in that little half space again. Hopefully he can find...
And is there a chance for the Army on the break here? But the answer to that one is no. What a challenge that was.
Again, Luke Trice just calming it down. He's had a brilliant start, I think. He's definitely calming it down now. He's having a good start.
Here's Roche again. That's a little touch. Trying to get the foul, trying to buy a foul, but the referee says no chance.
I think the referee's been fair so far, John. He's refereed it. He's letting things go. It's been a bit of a tussle, so it's good to see.
It's a sort of competitive fixture we were hoping for and expecting.
Yeah, you always expect this in the Navy.
Especially as this will be the championship decider. Both of these teams really going for it.
Oh,
and here's a chance for Roche, though, if he can pick up that ball.
Just needs to apply a little bit of grey. That's brilliant. That's brilliant by Roche. Again, he's on his lonesome up there, John. So he's applied enough pressure. He's put it in the corner. Gives his team a little bit of time there just to build up and get higher up the pitch. Hopefully create another chance.
Yeah, it can be a thankless task playing up front by yourself sometimes.
Yeah, rather him than me.
Again, here's the other Roche brother. Won't get it. It's might get a second chance, but the Army then with the opportunity here.
And Vincent picks up the ball. Just being a little bit wasteful at the moment. It's a bit panicky.
And there's a wall called Jack Wright in the way there. And once again, Mead Nind this time gets the ball away. Mead Nind, rather, I beg your pardon. And here comes Rogerson.
Yeah, the Navy would definitely be happy to have their skipper back in tonight. He's definitely commanding it from the back, and he's a strong player.
Well, they'd have really missed him if he'd been unavailable after that red card. It was a straight red he received as well for being the last man pulling down someone just outside the penalty area. And it was very close to actually being given a penalty, which could have changed the whole course of this championship. As it stands, both of these teams can win.
Again, superb by Trice there in the middle. Well done. Sims out wide to Rogerson. I think Rogerson's got to pick out number 7 here.
He said number 7 will get it in the end. This is Polius, goes wide, but just takes a little bit too far.
Just a heavy touch there, John. Yeah, not ideal. But again, brilliant pressure from is that McCormack there on the side. Number 11, my bad. Great pressure there by Cox.
And the score remains 0-0 here in Portsmouth. If you're just joining us live here on our Forces News YouTube channel and our Facebook page as well tonight, you're so welcome.
That's a great header there by Danny Constable. And by Alfie Moulding again.
Does well to keep it in play.
Can he get a shot off here, though?
James
He's doing well there.
Goes wide onto the right-hand side and wins the corner.
They'll take that.
So this is only the second corner of this match. Game has been played very much on the pitch so far.
Hopefully an in-swinger here, John. I can see Brighty on this, if he was playing tonight. Whipping it in, right in that danger spot.
I'm not trusted with set pieces.
Looking forward to the UCAS season, I'm sure, coming up.
We've got the Inter Services first, John.
Indeed. Callum Hall goes long across the face of the goal. Goes for the wide shot.
Just wide.
And
he had time there, John, as well. He had time, and he's rushed it a little bit there.
There's Callum Vincent, who has scored such a lot of important goals. He scored for the Army senior team, I think, didn't he, last season?
Yeah, not too long ago. Yeah. He's a good player, and hopefully one that we can get involved again in the coming months for the senior competition next month.
Just 23 years old, from 23 Parachute Engineers, last year's Army Under-23 Player of the Season. And he was missing for the first game.
Yeah, the Navy have been really good out of possession. They get 10 men behind the ball straight away. You wonder if it stays 0-0, how much longer it stays 0-0. They change and they have to risk it a little bit. And the Army stop coming forward and sit back in and take what they've got.
I just can't see. I can't see Griff employing that sort of game plan. To be honest, I think he'll definitely want to no messing around. He'll definitely want to try and get a goal and play on the front foot a little bit. But you're absolutely right, Brighty.
No, I don't think he will. But if there's still 10 minutes, if there's only 10 minutes to play and it's still 0-0, then he'll sit back and
if it draws all they need, and I think
put the impetus on the Navy.
Absolutely.
Well, the match analysis going on here from these two with me this evening. Brighty and Tomo, good to have you along. Although Sean Woolley reckons, well, I'm not sure what he reckons, but he's. I think he'd rather be here with us tonight. We could have had three of you. Actually, that would have been fun. I could have just taken the night off then and left you three to it. Here's Rogerson. And that will be another corner, third corner for the Army. Can they make something of this?
Yeah, you've really got to capitalise on these corners, John, because at the moment it seems to be the only opportunities the Army are really creating. So they definitely need to capitalise a little bit more on these and try and pick out a redhead and just put the keeper under a bit more pressure. I don't think he's had much to do, to be honest.
Well, he hasn't had a save to make. He had to collect one ball on target, I think, but there's not really a save. So the corner then comes in. Goes wide again, and the header.
Handball, and he's getting it the other way. Well, okay, I think both hands have gone up there, to be fair.
Yeah, there was a few arms.
Yeah, I'd be appealing for a penalty.
I'd just like to see that on replay, actually, because it was very, very close.
Yeah, John, you just quickly check VAR for us. That'd be ideal. We've got that technology down here as well. That's a great ball from the centre back. Just trying to find a ball in behind the centre back there, but it goes out.
But suddenly we're at the other end of the field. Army having to just defend a little bit at the moment. Nil-nil here in Portsmouth. Chance though for Roche, if he can get on the end of it, and he can, the keeper has to make the save, but I think it was going just wide anyway, but he had to be sure and make the save. So the Navy with yet another chance to have taken the lead.
They've had the better opportunities at the moment, John.
I thought he could have let it drop and taken it. I didn't think he had to go with his head.
To be fair, that's the perks of being 5'0" by the looks of it, right? I think it just bounced up nicely for him, and he's tried going for the head, because I think Rogerson might have just put a little last challenger.
Well, that was Manny Roche there, who had the opportunity, and just feeling that there was a bit of a nibble on his leg, I think as he was going through. The referee just saying, play the game. So let's just see whether it was a handball. It very difficult to tell, really, just watching from what we were going to see. But it remains 0-0, and going into the last 5 minutes of this first half. And here come the Navy once again with Roche. tries the back heels of Viney's brother, but the ball goes out of play, and it'll be another chance for the Navy. If they can get a goal here just before half-time, it's going to make things very interesting indeed.
I'm getting grilled at the moment, John, on the phone at the moment.
That will be a corner, the Navy's first corner of the game. So let's just see what they can do from a set piece.
Sorry, Helen. Of course I'm looking forward to it. It's hard to keep up with it all, Helen. See what the Navy can do here.
So
they've been knocking on the door.
Well, they've had the better of the chances. It's a good corner coming in, and the header is in the net.
It's a goal.
And it's a brilliant header. And who's the man who scored it? It's Jack Wright. It was the captain, Jack Wright. It was a brilliant corner coming in from the right-hand side. And Jack Wright was the man on the end of it. And everybody watched it float into the back of the net.
No one's picked him up, John. No one's picked him up. But he's their biggest threat. He's just been given a free header there. And to be fair to him, it's a great header. It's a great goal.
That script was written, John.
Well, did you hear my powers of foretelling there? Yeah. That corner going in.
John, it's not your first rodeo, is it? You had a sixth sense coming in.
Well, it was a wonderful goal from Wright. Brilliant header.
But there could be could be overturned there. The referee talks to the line. He's given a foul, I think.
Well, has he given a foul on the goalkeeper? Oh well, our excitement has been tempered then.
Oh, the Army have got away with one there, John.
Oh, I'm saying our excitement has been tempered at seeing a goal. The goal disallowed for a foul on the goalkeeper.
Yeah, they've
I have to watch that one back.
They've definitely got off lightly there. No one's picked up that number 5.
Well.
Is that their first corner tonight as well, John?
It was their first corner.
They're absolutely clinical there, so hopefully...
A bit of a warning then for the Army, a bit of a let-off for them, really.
It's encouragement for the Navy, though. They've dealt with the 3 set pieces that they've had to face well, and then they get their first chance to attack from one, and they score, albeit ruled out.
So loads of excitement then at the end of this first half. It remains 0-0. We thought we'd had a goal there. Jack Wright with a very powerful header, but the referee, and it was from some distance out as well, but obviously the referee felt that goalkeeper Felix Norman was impeded. Came back and it was ruled out.
I didn't think he was, to be honest.
It's a talking point.
But yeah, let off for the Army.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the nerves are settling in a little bit now for the Army. I think it's wobbled them a little bit, so I think they'll be glad to see this.
Well, I think the Navy are just growing into this. They're realising they're strong at the back. They're realising that they've got plenty of opportunity here.
Yeah, they've got the momentum at the moment, John.
Into the final minute of normal time in this first half.
To be fair, if I was Chris James now, I'll be wanting another 5-10 minutes because they're growing into it. Oh, talking of that.
Well, he's got 4.
4.
So that's not bad. Yeah, we'll take 4 minutes of stoppage time. Not quite sure where 4 minutes has come from. We did have a sizable break, didn't we?
Yeah, he's grabbing hold of this shirt.
We had the injury in the 6-yard box earlier, didn't we, with the aerial duel.
A yellow card here. It looks like this.
Yeah, he's putting on his shirt there, John. It's a clever one to take, but yeah, should be a little more discreet. I'm glad that ball didn't hit me either.
Well, it's Jack McCormack who's going into the referee's notebook for that challenge. So he's got to be careful then in the second half. They've had to be so strong, the Navy defence. He's a big fella, big lad. Leading physical trainer, who I saw actually doing his pass out at just across the road here, actually at Temerare just before Christmas, which was a very pleasant experience seeing the PTIs doing their final show. It was a terrific performance from all of them, and Jack McCormack was definitely one of them. Real leader there, and brilliant doing the gymnastics.
Rogerson just had a free kick there in his own half, and he should be doing a little bit better there. He sort of give away possession, and in the last sort of 3 or 4 minutes, you sort of want to be keeping the ball in their end and just seeing it out, really. Good touch by Vincent.
Okay, the Army spreading it wide then to Rogerson. I think he's been a really important player for them. And coming in there is number 7 is Polius. Still going. Oh, and that ball could have gone anywhere, but it was brilliantly cleared in the end by Manny Roche.
Yeah, that's a superb run there by Bryant. I think he's been a bit quiet this first half, but it's clear to see when you give him half a chance, he's dangerous.
He got in behind well, but he has to pick someone out.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. If not, you have a shot, I'll be shooting. I'd always shoot from there.
Well, it's just another corner for the Army.
You need to make this one count, though, John.
The fourth corner of this first half. It's still 0-0, so really good in-swinger, but 2 was on the end of it. It was actually McCormack who was on the end of it.
Can Brian get it back in the box?
Polius still jinking with the ball, trying to find an opening, gets the cross in, it's low. It'll be cleared by Roche, though, in the end.
Yeah, I think he's tried forcing a corner there, but yeah, he's been unsuccessful there. And again, Dempsey clears out.
Nice play from Dempsey.
Strong.
That looked like a nudge to me, a bit of a foul. The referee says play on.
Yeah, Truce there, driving. Go on.
It'll be Luke Trice who can bring this forward. He'll go for a shot. Goes for goal. High and wide. And a disappointing end for them. It was a really good bit of play from him, actually.
Yeah, he's had a really good first half, Luke. A little bit unlucky with that shot. I remember having a shot like that not so long ago for UCAF, actually. I remember putting it right in the top corner, but...
Wondered when that was coming.
I'll never do it again.
Nil-nil it stays. And Kyle Turner says the player standing by the keeper was in an offside position and blocked the keeper's view. Good decision.
Oh, so he's given an offside, not a foul?
He was given us an offside.
That makes more sense. There's never a foul.
We might be able to take a look at that at half-time, actually. It remains 0-0 into the last few minutes then of this first half in stoppage time. The Navy with a chance again. The goalkeeper comes up and makes the save. Felix Norman.
Yeah, he's been quite busy. He's been the busier keeper this first half, and he's definitely...
have you noticed when the game opens out, it's the Navy who are the most dangerous of the two? McCormack. But well collected, though, by Polius. And here's Roche, looking for his brother.
Yeah, that's a good clearance there by Dan Constable.
And that is the last action of the first half here. Remains 0-0. Plenty of excitement. The Navy having the best of it in terms of their shots on target and a disallowed goal. But who's going to be the happier of the two at half-time, do you think?
Well, on performance, you'd say the Navy, but the way the results going, you have to say the Army, because obviously the draw being good enough for them. They started the better of the two, had the better of the first 10 minutes. Navy have ridden out the storm, and now they look solid at the back now. And they're using their physical advantage at both ends when it comes to set pieces. So I think they'll probably play on that in the second half and look to use that to their advantage.
And Tomo, second half, the Army have got to be better, haven't they, in terms of taking their opportunities?
Yeah, I think it's clear to see that Navy they've definitely edged it. They've been stronger. I think they've been better with their taking their chances. They've definitely put the keeper under pressure. But I think they'll be a little bit gutted that they haven't gone in at 1-0, to be honest. But yeah, Griff definitely won't be happy with that. I think there'll be some stern words being said in that change room this half time.
Well, gentlemen, thanks very much indeed. You'll be back, of course, with us for the second half. We'll be back to enjoy whatever happens. Remember, if it remains 0-0, then it's the Army who win the Under-23 Championship because they won their first game against the RAF, and the Navy drew theirs with the Air Force 0-0. The Army, though, know that the Navy are very dangerous and could quite easily get themselves in front here. If the Navy win, they retain the trophy. We'll be back with the second half. Let's now pick up, shall we, some other Forces sports action. And as we arrived here at HMS Temeraire today, the Royal Navy Rugby League team were busy with their preparations for their second round of the Challenge Cup. This weekend they go over to North Wales, and the RAF, of course, they'll also be involved in the second round of the Challenge Cup. Let's now find out how they got on in the first round of this season's Challenge Cup, and let's look back on all the action.
had been 4 years since the RAF had made it past the first round of the Challenge Cup, and it was in the balance again after a first half full of tries at Doncaster Tolbar, who touched down 3 times before the break. But poor kicking from Luke Cade saw the extra points go begging. That allowed the RAF to stay in touch. And converted tries from Lewis Boyle and Adam Potter meant they trailed by just 2 points at half-time. Step up Kieran Prescott. His second half hat-trick turned the match for the RAF, including this moment of inspiration as his quickly taken tap penalty caught the opposition off guard. A yellow card for Joshua Caldwell could have let Tolbar back into the game, but with victory in sight, some military resolve saw them through. Prescott completed his hat-trick with another spectacular run as he and the RAF celebrated going into the second round draw for the first time since 2019. Next up for them, a home tie against York Acorn. The Band of Brothers run to the 4th round last year helped them secure the Royal Navy Team of the Year award, but they had to come from behind against Barrow Island, who ran in 2 early tries. The Royal Navy eventually warmed to their task, and by the time James Teixeira went over just before the break, it meant they had a 4-point lead going into half-time. The reigning Inter Services champions made their place in the second round safe with 2 more second-half tries, including a second for Duffy. Matt Gaskell's late penalty secured a comfortable 28-16 win for the Navy and a trip to Colwyn Bay to face North Wales Crusaders. The British Army are out after defeat at home to Ashton Bears. A slow start cost them dearly, and they were 4-0 down within the first 5 minutes, thanks to Matty Smith's early breakthrough. It was the first of the visitors' 4 unanswered tries in a commanding first half, and at the break the Army were floundering 18-0 down. But the Army threatened to make a game of it after the restart. They scrapped their way back into contention with 2 converted tries in quick succession. The first, a brilliant combination to set up Ryan Watkin. However, the Bears put the game to bed with 2 more tries in the final quarter through Declan O'Donnell and another for Smith, plus conversion from Rob Sexton. It's another disappointing campaign for the Army after second round defeat to the Royal Navy last year.
Hi, I'm Simon Hunter, and this is In Case You Missed It. A bronze medal to end an incredible winter of international bobsleigh competition for Royal Marine Taylor Lawrence. He was part of the GB two-man team that ended the World Cup season in Latvia in 3rd place. Lawrence also won a gold medal at the European Championships and took silver in the Worlds. Flight Lieutenant Mimi Hobbs has become the first RAF woman to complete the steepest ice track in the world. The Weapons Foundation course trainer is thought to be only the 8th woman in modern history to ride the entire Cresta Run. Women were banned from riding the track in Switzerland until 2018. Captain Cat Matthews is the subject of a new documentary. The Army Physio's meteoric rise and horrific training crash last winter feature in a new series by the Professional Triathletes Organisation. Crushed, the Cat Matthews story is available now to watch on YouTube.
as they come then to the final one of the railways in the back straight, and the quintet have all cleared it, and they turn right-handed then on towards home for the first time. So last year's winner, Rolling Dillon, and Major Charlie O'Shea have the advantage. Close up at the moment is Ben Sutton on Red Happy, red and black and white colours. These have been quite some way clear for a little while of the race already. There'll be about 10 lengths behind them, I suppose, to Lance Bombardier, Jolie Soul in black colours on Broken Halo. A blue cap for Sergeant Nick Oliver on Texard is next, and Sergeant Nathan Rahman is way behind those on Ballycross at the rear of the field, as the first quartet have taken the pond fence and heading towards the final 2 miles and into the straight for the first time. So one circuit to go in the Castell Royal Artillery Gold Cup, and the lead now with Red Happy. The leading trio, much better group though. Rolling Dillon is in second, although Broken Halo is now only a neck behind him and has reduced the deficit. It must have been 12-15 lengths or so at one stage to this leading duo. He's now right in amongst them. So the 138th running of the Royal Artillery Gold Cup, the final 3 fences coming up. The black jacket is Jodie Searle on Broken Halo on the right. On the left in dark blue and pink is Charlie O'Shea on last year's winner Rolling Dillon. The pair are together with 3 to jump. Red Happy is behind those in third place. Ballycross continuing, plugging on for fourth. The pond fence coming up. 3 from the finish then, inside the final 3 furlongs, and it's only a very slender lead still for Broken Halo. Rolling Dillon's probably jumping better than him, still has every chance. Red Happy is 20 lengths behind those in third place as they move into the home straight. The second last fence, Broken Halo, now goes on by 2 lengths. Rolling Dillon took it in second position. Behind those Red Happy and then Ballycross, and it's Broken Halo now with a 3 or 4 length advantage as he comes to the 21st and final fence. Broken Halo then, the final fence, got over it okay, not perhaps the most stylish, but he's got over it. He's lost his irons on it though, and in second position Rolling Dillon is trying to close, but there's a 5 length gap between them. Broken Halo it is, running up towards the line in the Castell Royal Artillery Gold Cup, and Broken Halo and Jodie Searle the winner. Rolling Dillon this year will be second, Red Happy on the way into third position, and Ballycross will be fourth.
On the entries day, I had a phone call from a friend that said, have you got a ride? So I said, well, I think Paul's putting one in. So I text Paul and he went, yeah, that one, not that one, but I'll look. And the next message I got was entered. So, and that's when Broken Halo, and he said to me today, he was like, I can't believe I didn't think of this horse for this race already.
And this is solely down to Jodie, the horse is running, because I'd forgotten about it. I had Don Navarro was going to run in it, unfortunately he's had a setback, couldn't, and I didn't even think about the entries, and Jamie kept on saying, no, there's not many in it, have you got something surely it's rated 130 or less? And I said, don't think I have. I had a look at my list. Broken Halo just slotted in nicely, having dropped a couple from the race before, so it was perfect. Put them together, and Major, guy that owns him, and Mike Shaw, and it's worked out very, very well for them all, you know.
It's quick, it's exciting. You're always on your toes, you never know what to expect. Expect the unexpected.
I don't think anyone realises how fast and furious it is. It's a relentless game, there's nothing else like it.
Sharp, snappy, fast-paced, accurate, skillful, lots of tactics. It deserves to be there for all to see.
Well, welcome back then into the Victory Stadium here at HMS Temeraire in Portsmouth, where the half-time score remains The Royal Navy 0, the British Army 0 in this Inter Services winner-takes-all decider tonight in the Under-23 Championship. Phil Bright with me. Tomo will be back with us very, very shortly. And Phil, I have to say that, you know, we're all getting rather excited about a goal flying in, of course, for the Navy at the end of that first half. But it was one of the great highlights of the first half, the Navy's first corner, and a brilliant header, it has to be said, from the captain Jack Wright. I think we can probably just see that on replay now. It was a really good header, but the referee and his assistants decided that it should be disallowed, quite rightly, and I think in the end, for offside and interfering with play.
Yeah, it was a great header, and he's dominated aerially at both ends of the pitch. Yeah, it's just looking back at it now, it is offside. I think initially up here we thought it was a foul, and you can just see he sort of ushered the ball in at the back post as it goes in, getting in the way of the goalkeeper. So it's the right decision in the end, but at least they've cleared it up, because it was never a foul.
Okay, and Tomo, a right decision, I think, for the goal to be disallowed in the end. But it was one of the highlights of the first half, and it just showed really the Navy were, when they had their opportunities, they were the ones who were going to take them.
Yeah, but by the looks of it, so far they definitely seem to be peppering the goalkeeper with their chances, and I think that's just been the difference this first half. Their chances seem to be on target and making the keeper work, and the Army haven't done the same at the other end.
Yeah, the other big chance was for Roach when he got his body in front of the two defenders, and I thought he could have let it drop and taken it with either foot. Instead, he tried to go with his head and take it early, and got a little nudge in the back, but nothing doing. That's
right. So the Navy had the better of the chances, and and they also look very, very comfortable at the back. And I just get the feeling that that Chris James will probably be the happier of the two coaches. Gowan Griffiths obviously will have a lot to say to his lads at half-time. What do you think the message is going to be coming from the Army boss?
I don't think he'll be happy, because I think they've probably been a bit lacklustre at times with just that final ball, I would say, and they've not really they haven't tested the goalkeeper at all. But I do think he probably will say a little bit more of the same, really. Just touch up a little bit more on the quality, I think.
Interesting that the Navy players over there, Navy substitutes, and you know both teams have got quite a bit of choice on the bench to make some changes, and I wonder how long it'll be before, particularly the score remains 0-0, how long it'll be before some changes are made, because as we keep stressing, the Navy have got to get a goal. They've got to win this game to win the title. Yeah, that's what 0-0's good enough for the Army. That's what I was trying to get at earlier. How long do the Navy leave it while it's 0-0 before throwing kitchen sink at it, trying to get a goal and a result, and how long before the Army think, do you know what, we'll sit back in and we'll take what we've got? Yeah, and I think, like you just said there, Bright, I think this next goal is crucial. I think it could change the game, really. Yeah. Well, if the Army score, then of course the Navy then need to, and they're really going to have to throw caution to the wind. If the Navy score, well, it's just going to be non-stop bombarding with pressure. If it remains 0-0 going into the last few minutes, will the Army say, OK, well, we'll settle for 0-0 because we're going to win the title? It's fascinating. It'd be a bit twitchy bum time then, though, John, so I wouldn't want to be on the pitch at that time. From a personal point of view, I'm actually looking forward to seeing the ball hit the back of the net. The first match ended 0-0. I've very rarely seen a 0-0 draw in the time I've been watching military football. So to see two out of the two games that I've been commentating, I think it'd be a bit unfair, don't you? 3-0 last week while you were off duty, John. I'll be asking for your money back, John. Yeah, well, maybe it's all to do with Kyle Dixon doing the commentary. We'll have to get Kyle in for the next games, then you're guaranteed some goals. But seriously, though, it's going to be a fascinating second half, which we're very much looking forward to, and it's just about to get underway here. It's John Knighton with you, along with Sean Thompson and Phil Bright. It's great to have them alongside this evening on commentary as we wait for the referee, Sergeant Mark Foreman, to blow his whistle. He's just checking his watches now. And we will be underway very shortly for the deciding half of this season's Inter Services Under-23 Championship. And it's the Army who get us underway straight away. Yeah, thanks for having us along, John. Me and Brighton having a great night. Knight actually came over to me earlier and said, this could be definitely something for him in the future. The start of a great career, absolutely. John, I'll be careful. I think you might be coming for your job. Well, Sean Woolley has already, expressed an interest as well. So I think we've got you all all lining up to be pundits, you know.
You're safe while I'm still playing, John.
But here come the Army immediately. That you can see how determined they are to get into the action, and it'll be fascinating to see how the Navy, whether they decide to go for this strong defence that they've shown right from the word go in this match, and they showed against the Air Force.
Yeah, Griff definitely would have said, you know, again, the first 5-10 minutes of any half so crucial. So they've got to really pile that pressure on and try and get that goal, because I do think whoever gets the first goal will calm the nerves and probably open the floodgates for more, to be honest.
Well, Manny Roche trying to get away, but decides to go back for the free kick in the end to the Navy. And just remember, wherever you are, we are very keen to hear from you tonight here on...
That's a corner wall again there, John.
YouTube or on Facebook.
That's an early corner.
An early corner for the Navy, yeah. They only got one corner in that first half, but it proved to be a really nearly a crucial one.
Yeah, I'm just thinking here, is it going to be Jack Wright or Mead Need?
This is what they'd have wanted, an early set piece after dominating them in the first half.
Yeah.
It's actually going to be Matthew Eyston, I think, to take it. Takes it short to Roche. Cross goes in, headed clear, though, by the Army.
That's a good
it's dealt with well.
Right in the stands.
Yeah, as I used to say, an early goal here would change the course of this game. And here's Bryden Jones then to take the throw. Aimed into the centre.
Goes back. Dempsey there.
Dempsey again, and Roche on the end of it. Here's the other Roche, goes down. Nothing doing, says the referee.
Yeah, it goes down a bit soft.
And that was a foul by
Cox.
Jim Cox, yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit soft.
On Polius.
Bryant has felt the contact there, and he's just gone down nice and soft. Clever play by him.
Callum Hill just looking to be freed up on the edge of the box. Hill chasing after it. The referee allows play to go on, and it'll be.
And Rigby sends it straight into the sands. No messing around there.
Callum Hill
John, getting a little bit cold now.
He's a postie, is Callum, for his job. Yep.
See if he delivers tonight, John.
20 with the Royal Logistic Corps Postal and Courier Troop. And he has represented Leicester City, so instantly he'll, you know, although he's wearing a red shirt tonight, you know, I can let him off for that. But here come the Navy, trying to defend at the moment. Army getting the ball into some space on that far side. Owen James still going with it, gets the crossover.
He's overhit that one a little bit.
He did well to get the cross in, though, in the first place.
Trice on the ball.
Nicely cut out by the Army.
Aaron on the half turn there. Oh, he just gets stuck underneath his foot there.
Again, he's here, there and everywhere. Is Manny Roche.
The Army skipper there. Getting into a little bit of confrontation with the referee. Clearly not happy with the decision there.
Been a slower start to the second half than it was the first, hasn't it?
Yeah, it was a bit of a whirlwind, wasn't it, the opening to the game.
I think they've settled into the nerves now, I think, John, and they're sort of finding their feet a little bit. Again, no team will want to concede that first goal, though, so...
Rigby then with the free kick, aimed into the penalty area, aiming for Roche, against cleared by Polius. Good, strong challenge from the Navy captain, Jack Wright. And here's Sol Roche. I mean, Polius does well, but only as far as Roche.
Yeah, he slips there.
His brother. They're everywhere, the two Roche brothers, and there's Roche again.
He's been pulled back there as well.
Referee might give a free kick here. Yeah, there's a little pull back there on Cox. Bryant gets the wrong side of them there, and Cox just gives himself a couple of yards there.
Set piece for the Navy.
That's where they look their most dangerous so far. And Manny Roche will take it. He's got several players, including Mead Nind in there, wearing number 6.
Again, they want to be picking out the skipper or Mind, I think. Both been very dominating in the air, especially in those defensive areas. So hopefully they can.
And Wright's in there as well, as you say.
Yeah.
Big number 9 too. Sol Rush takes it.
Oh, he's unlucky there.
Ooh. Header goes in, and it is into the back of the net.
It's a goal, John.
And this time it is Sol Rush who scored, the number 9. Well, the Army players, the defence just stood and watched as
that
the
one won't be ruled out.
Sol Rush got in there to score the goal, and they are celebrating. We got the early goal in the second half. The Royal Navy take the lead, and at the moment, the title is with them.
I said it would come from a set piece.
Yeah,
they just reacted to the second ball better and header back in. That one won't get ruled out.
No, absolutely, Brightly. They've looked lacklustre from set pieces. The Army have looked tired. They've not won the first or the second ball, and the Navy have capitalised on that.
And Roche wins it again.
And now all of a sudden it's the Navy with something to defend.
Yeah.
Well,
that'd be a huge confidence boost for the Navy now.
You can just see them taking it. And here's Solly Roche this time.
Oh, that's great.
And was he pulled down? The referee says no, it was a fair challenge.
Yes, good defending there.
Not a foul for me. I think he's done just about enough.
Well, this game is going to open up now. You can absolutely guarantee it, because the Army have got to go for it. They've got to be more accurate in their attacks.
Yeah, the Navy have definitely upset the party here, John. I think this game will definitely open up a lot more now, and I think where they've been so solid in their defensive lines, I think it will definitely open up.
So we played 52 minutes of the 90. The Navy have to win this to retain the title. The Army need a draw. So in fact, the Army, all they need is to get a goal back, and the title will go back to them.
Still plenty of time here, John.
There's so much to play for here tonight at HMS Temeraire.
Here we go. Half chance.
Ball comes back, bobbles around in the box, but the Navy have defended
really well
for their lives so well, and what a brilliant tackle that was as well.
Yeah, you can see the confidence brewing here, John. That they're fist bumping, chest bumping. They're happy.
I hit about 4 of them on the way through.
Yes, I did. They've been so compact.
Nice control from them.
Vincent, great ball in. Easy for the keeper there. Nice easy grab.
Callum Vincent's going to be an important member of their team. I wonder how long it's going to be before Gowan Griffith decides on making a few changes. He's already got a couple of players warming up on the touchline in front of us.
Yeah, they need something to up. Oh, here we go.
Here they go
Half
again. I think there's a hint of offside. He's chased after it, says the referee, Owen James, and now the flag has gone up. Isn't it just the most irritating thing in football? And it's at every level where you know someone's offside.
They just wait. They wait and wait and wait.
And I just don't know why it happens. If you can see a player is offside, why doesn't the flag go up immediately? And it's obviously not the official here. It's not their fault. It's just the guideline, the directions that come through right from the very top. And it's so irritating, particularly for fans, isn't it, spectators, and anyone who can see that it's an offside.
Do you think they get as annoyed about it as we do?
I don't know. It depends which side you're on. But all I do know is that if it could be a 50-50 with a goalkeeper having to go for it, and you could end up with injuries because, you've got to go for a ball, haven't you?
No, you're right, yeah.
Superb by Triso again. I'm just hoping the Army get Vincent on the ball a little bit more.
Great play from Cox.
Maybe a through here. It's a great step over.
And he's
that's great.
He's just played a bit too far as Roche, but he's been such a prickly customer tonight for them.
He's had a good game.
Manny Roche has been here, there, and everywhere.
With the Navy now having to chase the game and come out a little bit, it's leaving little pockets of space for the Navy to exploit. Now they need to be careful not to get caught again.
Well, the Army need a goal. Remember, the Navy needed a goal to start with. They've got it. The Army need a goal now, so they really have got to go for it.
Again, I think by the looks of it, they're trying to get their midfield players on the ball. Oh, he's kicked it out, I think. Oh, he's done well there. I just think the Army needs to get their ball players in the middle on the ball a little bit more and try and create those.
Takes the 1-2 with James, who's fouled. Free kick.
I think anything at the moment for the Army, their longer ball approach, the Navy's soaking up quite nicely. I think they just need to get their ball players on the ball Just move it a little bit quicker, be a little bit more clinical, and hopefully a chance will arise.
So Luke Trice is on the ball, along with Callum Hill. One of them will take this free kick, and a lot to aim at in that penalty area. It takes it in the end, and the ball drifts away to the far side. It'll be kept in by Moulding.
He's done well there. That was going out for a corner.
Wins the throw-in. Wants to take it quickly. He's a monster of a man, isn't he? He really is. Ale.
Yeah, he's good looking as well, John. He's got it all.
That far side. Good play from Callum Vincent.
Again, Vincent on the ball. He's done well there, but he gets crowded straight away, John. I think any time the Army are in that final attacking third, the Navy around him in 2s and 3s, and I think it's proving to be difficult.
And that's a really good challenge again from Fraser Dempsey, again, who's been such a thorn in the side of the Army so far in this game. The referee allows play to go on. It's good stuff from Owen James, who is...
Yeah, that was always coming as well. 3 or 4 he could have given then.
Yeah, again, John, like I said, the Navy are swarming and they're keeping it so compact there. They're making it really hard for the Army to just create a little bit of space to even get a shot away. They're defending superbly, to be fair. Well done to Navy.
Well, it's going to be another booking here, and this time the man who's going into the book is Manny Roche.
Well, you won't be happy with that, John. That's 15 quid. 15 quid down the drain. He's not happy about that.
You never hear of Premier League players complaining about a £15 fine, do you? Funny that.
Yeah.
Well, Roche is toddling back into the penalty area. Now,
shooting distance, though, John.
Now, this is a dangerous one. Callum Vincent there. You've got.
I think he'd
Luke
be the favourite
Trice.
option here. He'd be the favourite option. That's who I'd put on it.
And also Callum Hill, but it looks to me like it's going to be Vincent.
Yeah, anything on target, get the keeper working. It's a big wall, though, John. It's a big wall.
It is a big wall. How can he get it round it? It's been well positioned by Dane Rigby.
Here we go.
So Vincent then with a free kick.
That's
Takes
a great
it,
shot.
and it's
That's
a good save.
It's a goal.
And the follow-up.
It's a goal, John.
And it's Luke Trice who followed it up well. It was a brilliantly taken free kick.
The Navy are looking for an offside.
No,
I don't think they're going to get it.
Well,
like I said there, John, you've got to get it on target.
There is a discussion going on, I think, between the linesman and the referee.
John, he's happy. It's a goal.
It's a goal.
That's superb there. He's got it on target. He's done enough. And the keeper should be parrying it like that. He should be parrying it away from the goal. But again, that's superb. Probably strike his instincts there by Luke Trice there. But
the taker's done everything right. He's hit the target. It's bounced just in front of the keeper, forced him to make a save, and he spilled it right into that horrible area where Saka's got to it first.
Yeah. By the looks of it there, John, Simmons is coming on, and so is Fagan. But they've taken off Vincent, which I'm quite surprised about. But I think they're probably going a bit more direct by the looks of it, John.
Yeah. Well, they've got the goal they needed to get back into the game. It was...
We've got a game in our hand now, John.
Well, we do have a game in our hand, but the onus is now back with the Navy, of course. They have got to get a second goal to take the ascendancy.
Yeah, that's made things a little bit more exciting.
So do you think it's going to be a case of back to the wall then for the Army? Do you think they're going to go for it? Or do you think they'll carry on being in the, going for it themselves to actually seal it? Because they know that if they get a second goal, the Navy need 2.
Yeah, well, I'm just looking at how the substitutions they've made there, and they're both attacking players, John. So by the looks of it, I think he's going to throw his kitchen sink at it. Superb by Trice.
Good challenge again, Luke Trice, the goal scorer. But the Navy win it back quickly. They need just to be in possession with Cox on that far side now. The ball runs wide to...
Guy. He bullies him there.
Sol Roche, who unfairly won the ball, says the referee. So the Army will build again and bring this out onto this near side of the field. 1-1, 2 quick goals here at the Victory Stadium.
We have got goals, John. It wasn't you.
No.
The curse has been broken, John.
Here's Polius. Navy there with a chance with Roche. Takes a 1-2 with Dempsey.
Yeah. That's a good win there by the centre-back again. Finds Dempsey.
And here is Dempsey.
Dempsey holds the ball
important
up.
player for them. No sign of any changes from the Navy just at the moment. Jones. Back to the big skipper to right. Out onto this left-hand side. And here's Roche.
It's a good turn.
Nice turn, but he's well tackled. Great bit of work from the Army defence.
And Bryant's on the ball.
Bryant Polius.
It's a great bit of skill.
Yes, he's still holding onto the ball. Holds up really well. Goes out to the second of the substitute, Lewis Simmons, on this near side of the field. Simmons still going.
Oh, hard shoot. Why are you shaking your head there, Brighty?
You'd shoot from anywhere.
Hard shoot, yeah.
Well, all sorts of mayhem going on in the penalty area, but it's the Navy who bring it away in the end. You can just see that the Army have decided they're not going to sit back on this.
No, and I think that's the right thing to do. They know another goal, potentially from another set piece or anything like that.
Well, they have a chance again. Goalkeeper.
And they lose the impetus again.
Is Rigby to get it clear, but this is real pressure from the Army here, just as they did right at the beginning of the game. It's 1-1. Army in the ascendancy. They know they've got one hand on the trophy at the moment, but they also know how dangerous the Navy can be given half a chance.
It's a good touch by Aaron Moore.
Nice control from Moore. Plays it out onto the near side here.
He has a shot.
Two substitutes.
Great shot.
Oh, and it's just over the bar.
He's found a good little bit of space there, though. So he's in his own right to take the shot.
Well, that's Ryan Fagan.
Knows I would be.
Fagan knows where the goal is. He got the third of their goals against the Air Force last week.
He'll be keen to make an impact as well, John. Come on as a sub, you want to get that goal as well.
Yeah, I was just about to say, both subs for the Army have come on and freshened them up a little bit. They look a lot more sprightly, yeah.
Well, he was
it's interesting to see that none of the Navy lot are warming up or no changes to be made. They must seem pretty happy with how things are going at the moment. But it definitely feels like since the Army have got that goal, it's been a bit more the Army's way.
Well, the Army has certainly stepped it up, that's for sure. Just over an hour played. Good evening to Stuart O'Connor, who's watching. Good evening to you, Stuart. Sean Woolley has just told us he's extremely glad the Army have scored. Live on Forces News Facebook and on our YouTube channel. Live direct from HMS Temeraire here in Portsmouth, the deciding match in this season's Inter Services Under-23 Championship. It's 1-1, and at the moment that means the trophy is going to go to the Army, but the Navy will have plenty to say about that.
Cox right down the line.
Jim Cox going down the line.
Great ball in.
Gets the ball in.
Oh, it's a great...
There's a claim for handball. Referee waves it away.
Oh, that's a big penalty shout there, John. And I think they've got half a shout, to be honest.
Well,
I think the defender's just done enough. I think on initial viewing.
No VAR here. Some will say, thank goodness. Army again. This is really opening out now, as we expected this in this second half. That's great play again from Fagan.
He's been really bright since he's come on. He's definitely had a positive impact. Just go back to that little challenge, and to me, that looked like it could have been a penalty, Brighty.
There's Trice. Ball goes wide then to Rogerson. And Polius. Look at him go. Look at him go.
Oh, he's done
well.
Still
going. And he gets the cross in, and it goes out for a corner.
And I think that's what he was missing in that first half, John. He was missing that, just getting him on the ball and letting him drive in those spaces, because he's clearly a handful.
That's what we saw all last week. Yeah. And that's the first time we've seen it tonight.
Yeah. It took him 60 minutes, but he's looking bright.
Well, it took a very important interception then from Jack Wright to prevent that going into the penalty area or into the danger zone. But instead, the Army have...
Another corner, John.
Another corner.
Another one. They need to capitalise from these, though.
Corner then floated in.
Oh,
And it's
Oh, that's a great
touchline.
save, John. That's a superb save. I thought he just sneaked it in then. That's superb.
Looked like it was in all the way.
Yeah, that's absolutely brilliant by Rigby.
Yeah, Rigby making the save, and that's kept the Navy in the game.
God, that was absolutely superb.
But it's yet another corner then for the Army.
Another goal for the Army, you feel, would kill it.
Yeah. They've definitely been on the front foot for the last 10 minutes.
Goes wide, headed clear.
Can you have a shot here? Can you pull off a shot, John? Oh. He sliced it there.
Ryan Fagan has certainly got the his eye on this one. So he scored last week against the Air Force. Won 2 trophies with RSME.
The Navy are making their first sub of the game.
So
looks like Dempsey's coming off, I think.
A change for the Navy.
Is that Dempsey, John?
It is. Dempsey is coming off.
Coming on for Morgan Jones.
No number on the back of this shirt.
Yeah, but it is Morgan Jones.
No number on the back of his shirt.
Oh, you won't mind giving away getting a little yellow card.
The referee's just checking, actually, to see whether he's actually allowed to be on the pitch.
He seems happy. I haven't seen that before.
I've got a feeling, actually, that they had to get a replacement shirt for him. Someone had to dash into the changing room. So maybe the shirt that he had was either too small or maybe too big. Anyway, he's on the field, is Morgan Jones, to replace Fraser Dempsey, who, if you remember, did receive some treatment in the first half. And I wonder whether, you know, that's the reason why he's had to go off. But 67 minutes played here at the Victory Stadium. It's evenly poised at 1-1. But the Navy, remember, need another goal if they're going to retain this trophy. They took the lead from a free
they
kick.
seem to have took their foot off the pedal a little bit, John, since that.
Well, they've not been allowed to get back into it by the Army. I think that's probably more to it.
Yeah.
The Army have really stepped up since they took the lead, they got the equaliser, which gives them the lead again.
Oh, I don't know what's going on there.
Well,
comical, though.
The Navy may look back to that chance they had straight after scoring that goal.
Yeah.
When Roach went through the middle. Just couldn't connect with it.
There seems to be another T-shirt swap. Oh, they've managed to find a number 12.
Yeah. So we were right all along, of course, that it was Morgan Jones, but it was just... that's just confirming it. So goalkeeper then Rigby, trying to create something for the Navy here. And here with them is Jones, Braden Jones.
Bit of a wayward pass there by number 7.
It was
but
a wayward pass.
Plays Aaron Moore through.
A real
it's
chance
one with the goalkeeper. Oh!
He's come off his line. And there could be danger
he's
here.
The corner. He's taken the corner there. That's sensible there.
I think it probably was a sensible decision in the way to...
that was good play there by Fagan.
The ball was going... ball was going wide, and it's absolutely for sure that Ryan Fagan has made such a difference to the Army since he's come on, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks really bright.
Yeah, he's had a positive impact since he's come on.
Another corner floated in then for the Army.
Again.
And
it's just over there.
Yeah. But those Navy defenders have certainly had their work cut out in the second half. Jack McCormick there having to make a real challenge, as has been Jack Wright.
Yeah, I think the Navy need to grow into the game a little bit more now, John. They've been a bit lacklustre for the last 10 or so minutes. I think they just need a little bit of something, a little bit of spark from someone on that team to create an opportunity.
They need to find their momentum again, having conceded that goal. Didn't see heads drop. That's not going to happen. But sometimes when you concede a goal, having just taken the lead, it can, be a bit of an issue. But
there's another Army change here. Looks like James Venning coming on to replace Bradley. Sorry,
it's Dion Jones coming on. I think,
Jones.
isn't it? Yeah.
I was looking at the wrong team sheet there.
For
colourblind.
Ali is
what
gone.
What are you laughing at, Brighty?
Ali's gone. Ali's being, Ailes going off on the far side. He's having to take the long walk round the pitch in front of all the fans over there.
Yeah, they'll be giving him stick, John.
But it's Dion Jones who's come on from the Welsh Guards, 22-year-olds. He had a scholarship at Chester FC before he joined the Army. He's been in the Army since 2019.
It's a good header there by Alfie Molden.
Navy still challenging hard for it, though. It's well won by
Cox. He's been superb.
Cox. Jim Cox has played well.
He's been a real handful on that left-hand side, to be fair.
He's won a free kick.
Navy set piece in the same area from where the goal came from.
Could it be a repeat? To be fair, if the Army defend like they have been for the first, well, any of the set pieces, I think the Navy look dangerous.
The Army have got a player down at the moment, so that looks to me like it's Bryant Polius who's down.
I think it took a little bit of a heavy fall there.
He's going to need some attention. He hasn't moved so far, so...
See, well, that is superb pace there from the physio, Miranda.
Yeah, she's... could be entering the Inter Services Athletics with pace like that, I would have thought.
She carries on like that. That was rapid.
But Polius is still down. Chance then maybe for the Navy just to regroup a little bit. As you say, they lost their momentum when the Army got their equaliser, which puts them back in the driving seat, of course, in this championship.
Yeah, the Army know that the Navy have been quite dangerous from these set pieces, so they want to make sure they cut up nice and sharp and win these first and seconds.
Well, they certainly were short for the goal that the Navy took the lead from.
Bryant's still down, so it seems to be a bit more of a concern than we first thought. Hopefully nothing too serious, but there is a couple of players on the bench there for the Army are warming up.
Yeah, he's still receiving some treatment and doesn't look too good. He's moving now, so we're hoping that he's going to be okay.
Yeah, Brighty's asking me the rules there on the subs. I've just said yeah, as if I know, John. I'm not too sure, to be honest. Is it 5 subs?
I think 5 subs are allowed. It's across the board, isn't it now?
Okay. Yeah, I knew that, John. Brighty didn't.
Didn't do your homework before you arrived. But it was so important from the Army's point of view, though, wasn't it, to get back into the game quickly, because the Navy really were on top and very nearly got a second, if you remember, as well. And if they suddenly got into a 2-0 lead here, that would have been pretty hard for the Army to recover. But instead, the Army did get themselves back into the game very quickly and switched the momentum back again. And it's not looking too good, I'm afraid, over there.
Yeah, so some teams can crumble, John, from that first goal, especially when you've had that first half, which is quite as close as it was. That first goal can sometimes be so crucial, especially at an early stage in that second half. So they showed some great character there, really, to bounce back within minutes, really. And I think the momentum's with them still.
Yeah, he's been down on the pitch for some time now, has Bryant Polius from 7 Para RHA.
Yeah, I think he's struggling. I think he will be coming off there, John. Which is a shame, because he is just growing into the game, actually, Bryant. Especially that last run he did in that final third. Be a shame to see him go off.
Well, while we're waiting, of course, both teams now are able to take a break and have a drink.
I think this will give both managers a little, just a couple minutes now, just to go for any tactical changes, maybe, or some words of wisdom. I know what I would be saying if I was the Army manager right now. More of the same.
What would you be saying? More of the same.
Absolutely.
And what would you be saying if you were Chris James at the moment? He's deep in conversation with his other coaches at the Navy.
Like a similar situation, well, it's the exact same situation at half-time. How long do they leave it before going for broke? whether that's a change or whether it's a different approach. Push a few players higher, send one of the big lads from the back up front and really go for it.
No, I agree, Bright. I think that's the sort of direction I'd be pushing as well.
No, it's worrying times
on the side, doesn't it?
It is worrying times for the Army. We've got a stretcher now coming out, unfortunately for Bryant Polius. His game is obviously up for the evening. And it'll be interesting to see how Gowan Griffiths decides to deal with this, whether he brings on another striker to replace him or whether he decides to firm things up at the back. But we are now sort of about 5 minutes for the break.
Still waiting for a plug for our game.
A few more mentions while we're able to. Good evening to Jamie Doig, our good friend from Leicester Tigers and the former Army Staff Sergeant as well. He's watching this evening up there in Leicestershire. Good evening to you, Jamie. Also, Paul Thompson says, get your head down, Charlie.
Yep, shout out to me dad. Happy birthday, Dad.
Scott McCarthy, come on the boys. David Garner is watching. And thanks for all your messages coming through on Facebook and also on our YouTube channel tonight. As very carefully the Army's Luke Trice is being brought back towards the stand here on the stretcher. So let's hope he's going to be okay. The Army are going to make a change. They're bringing a striker, Sean Walker, on. He's going to be replacing Polius, who I'm sure will receive a warm round of applause from those people here in the stands here, wishing him well.
Yeah, he's had a superb game, to be fair, in the last.
But he was just beginning to really make an impact on the game, wasn't he? And it's very sad that he's been having to taken from the field by stretcher. We wish him all the very best and wish him a speedy recovery.
Yeah. I thought that was the moon coming down there, but it was actually the top of my good friend Martin Burko's head. Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm back off.
Where were we?
It's another Navy free kick, and Roche will take it. Manny Roche, aiming for the big strikers in there, the big players who did so well to give the Navy the lead before. Can they repeat it, or will the Army this time defend it?
Some words of wisdom from the dugout there, from the manager. Let's see if it pays off for the Navy.
Finally, we do get underway. So Roche then with a free kick.
It's
a perfect one.
Superb defending there by Danny Constable.
Headed away, and has it gone out of play?
For a throw-in.
Only for a throw-in.
It's well defended.
Yeah, superb there. That's brilliant from Danny Constable.
Just a bit too close, wasn't it? A bit too far away from the marauding strike force who were trying to get on the end of it. But they have a throw-in then.
It's a long throw in the box.
Mead Nind with the throw-in. It's eventually cleared by the
Alfie Moulding, as calm as you like.
Army.
Oh, and Simmons just runs out of play there.
Maybe have another chance.
Fagan, sorry.
Morgan Jones then with the throw-in. Nice cross coming in.
Number 10.
Roche tries it once, tries it
twice.
Oh, he's giving it a penalty. Well, it's Matthew Eyston is the man who went down. I thought it was a bit of a harsh decision.
I thought he kicked the ground.
I thought he kicked the ball himself.
He's got enough contact though, Johnny.
Let's just have a look.
Let's have a look at the VAR replay here.
Well, it looks to me like he very much kicked the ground. The referee has given the penalty.
He's done well there to buy it. The Army will be really frustrated with that when they see that back later.
Well, Felix Norman didn't want to give the ball back, but
it's all come from another set piece.
Who's going to be taking it? Well, it's fallen on the shoulders of the captain, Jack Wright, who, remember, had his headed goal disallowed in the first half. It's him against Norman with this penalty. Such drama here.
I know. It's got a bit quiet. Here we go.
Takes it, scores! The Navy back in front. The Navy back in charge in terms of the Under-23 Championship. Yeah, and my word, he took that penalty well.
Yeah, there's no question about it. He sent the keeper the wrong way. From our angle, it looked like he's probably the keeper's left. Yeah, good penalty.
Big pressure. Captain steps up, puts his foot through it.
Yeah. And it goes back to our point earlier, John. How he's been clinical for him. He's been superb from at the back, and he's done the job at the other end as well.
Well, we're in for a rip-roaring end to this game then now. 81 minutes gone, but remember there'll be at least 5 minutes of stoppage time because of the injury, which meant that Bryant Polius had to leave the field.
Again, John, it just feels like it's a little bit of a, not a game of two halves, but a game of two halves in one half, if you know what I mean.
Can you explain that one to me? A game of two halves in one half?
I don't know what's in that water. But yeah, it's been a half of two halves.
A half of two halves,
yeah,
okay.
That's what I'm going to go for. And it's just how the Army bounced back.
I'm sure we'll get some comments from our viewers on that one. But yeah, I think I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Well, what can the Army do here? Can they get back into it?
Oh,
the goalkeeper doesn't make it.
Whoa, what a save.
He does.
That's superb by the goalkeeper.
He's
pulled up. It could be a penalty jump. Oh.
No, the referee has given instead.
Oh, they've got a great shout there for a penalty.
They've got a case, I think.
That seemed like more of a penalty than the first one to me.
Well, the ball kicked away very, very quickly. The referee says corner.
Who'd be a referee?
My goodness me.
Not me, Brighty.
If you want drama, look no further. Corner comes in. Headed clear. Headed clear by probably the smallest players on the pitch, actually.
Yeah, that was Morgan Jones there, John. That was superb by Morgan.
It's a brilliant defensive header, that.
Do well.
Yeah. Again. To be the Army have shown good character here, John. They've bounced straight back. Their heads haven't dropped.
Well, they really have.
But
they're going to feel very hard done by with the penalty they conceded and then not getting anything back themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you said earlier, Tomo, the one that the Navy thought they could have had that was a bit of a 50-50, and I wasn't sure. There's been that one. We've had the one that's been given, and now we've had that one just there that the Army have had turned down, which was quite clumsy. He's actually probably given the one that wasn't a penalty a penalty.
the least likely of a penalty. Yeah. Again, he's only human, you can't get them all right. Superb.
It's really good play then from Callum.
That's superb by Simmons there. He receives the ball nicely in that final third, and he turns inside. And again, the Navy on him like a rash. Nice and tight, but they've given away a foul there.
We mustn't forget, this is Army versus Navy. There's always going to be some needle.
Bit of gamesmanship,
it doesn't matter what the competition is. And when the competition is balanced as it is, with the Navy 2-1 up, well, you know you're going to get some fireworks. Looks like another name is going into the referee's book here. So a yellow card then shown to the Royal Navy's Bradley Cox. And it's going to be Luke Trice then with the free kick here. He's got players to aim for on the edge of the box.
He's had a great game so far as well, John.
He has played well. He's played extremely
well.
Been
one of the more standout players of the Army tonight.
Looks like another yellow card as well, this time for Lewis Simmons.
Probably for dissent, I think, maybe, John.
Yeah, I think there was a bit of the fisticuffs, wasn't it, or the handbags at whatever it was, 13 paces. Free kick comes in, goalkeeper on the end of it decides to punch it, and now the Navy on the break with the opportunity with Braden Jones, holds it up well.
Superb by Trice again.
Trice does a great tackle there to deny him. But
it's a good punch under pressure, that.
The Army are obviously going to be going for it. Are there going to be gaps at the back that the Navy can exploit on the break? I'm sure that's what Chris James is hoping for.
I think the Army needs to do a little bit better trying to get Owen James and Aaron Moore on the ball a bit. They've been a bit quiet the second half, and I think, you know, if anyone's going to get a goal, it'll be one of those two. So I think needs to just up it a bit more.
It's interesting that the Navy have only made one change so far, but they're putting the pressure on, looking for a third goal, and surely a third goal now for them would seal it.
Yeah, the next goal's
in
crucial,
fact,
John.
A goal for either side is going to win this championship, isn't it?
Yeah. Seems like that.
But it's the Navy who hold the advantage 2-1. Army, though, certainly not going to give this one up. They're really still going for it. They feel they've got a great opportunity, got a great chance. Nice control then from Trice, one of the players of the match here today. McCormack can't control that, it goes out of play. And Sean Walker will take the throw in. No, he leaves it in the end. Little nudge in the back, the referee doesn't see it. That will be a foul, surely a free kick to the Navy. Touch of cramp coming on now as well, which is only to be expected.
Yeah.
It's a big pitch, isn't it, here at...
Has he got cramp, or is he just being clever?
Well, you may think that. I couldn't possibly comment.
You'll see all sorts of examples of gamesmanship coming in now.
So Dane Rigby will take his time.
Yeah, they want to slow the game down a little bit now. Now they've got that 2-1 advantage.
Well, there's going to be a certain amount of stoppage time here that is going to be played. I can imagine it could be 6 or 7 minutes given the substitutions and that injury break. So this game, although we are approaching, what, the 88th minute now, is by no means over. Navy leading 2-1, remember, if you're just joining us. It's been an exciting final match in this season's Inter Services Championship.
Yeah, real end-to-end game, John.
It's what happens, of course, when the opening match is drawn. You know, you're guaranteed almost a final.
Yeah, if I was a Navy now, I'd be really concentrating on that game management now, trying to kill the game off a little bit, take the sting out of it, and really try and frustrate the Army in there.
Well, running off there is Braden Jones.
And he's made something of it.
And he wins the throw-in. That's very clever play by the Navy. Royal Navy 2, Army 1. On the edge of the box. It's really good play again from Jim Cox, yeah.
He's been superb for the Navy,
I think. There have been some outstanding performances.
Oh, it's a big goal.
Oh, and it's an attempt on goal, and it took a deflection. Bradley Cox, that was. With the attempt.
And they're still sending all three big lads from the backup.
Yeah.
Well, the Navy feel that with the success they've had from set pieces that they could finish it. They're taking it very gently here.
Yeah, they've just dragged one back.
It's Matthew Eyston is taking the free kick, or taking the corner. It's a brilliant corner. It's fronted in, it hits the post. And surely, is that going to be a penalty? No, the referee waves that away. And
they've got away with one again.
Well, it was a great header again, and it came in from Jack Wright. Wright, who's been absolutely at the centre of everything that's been good. And we've got 10 minutes of stoppage time here, ladies and gentlemen.
They've been superb from set pieces tonight, John. They've looked a real threat, and I think the Army have really got away with one there for that last one there.
Well, we've still got 10 minutes left, and anything could happen in the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's far from over this.
No, in all said and done, with irrespective of the result, I think it'd be whoever wins this, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, 3 teams are still one. So, or the Army, Navy and RAF, we're all one big team at the end of the day, regardless of result.
Well, when you're playing together for UCAF, you certainly are, but there's no quarter given here, and that was a pretty hefty challenge coming in then from the referee trying to sort that one out.
Tensions are rising now, John.
Well,
I think people are getting slightly a little bit nervous now.
Yeah, there's going to be another yellow card here. And this looks like it's going to be shown to the Navy captain, Jack Wright, for that challenge.
Yeah, it was a little bit rash, John.
He went a bit heavy on Luke Trice. Gets the yellow card. In fact, it's not. It's actually Matthew Eyston who has been shown the yellow card there. My apologies to Jack Wright. Good evening to Nick DeLong, who is a chap who you will both know extremely well, of course. And that surely was not 10 yards back when that free kick was taken, but the referee has allowed it to go on. Here's a challenge from Braden Jones.
Oh, he sliced it there, John.
Navy leading 2-1 here into stoppage time. We've got 10 minutes of stoppage time to play. We've got about 8 minutes of that to go according to our watch. That's a minimum.
Again, a little bit of game management here from the Navy again. Player going down.
Yeah, the man down is Jim Cox.
Football went out the window for a minute there. It was anywhere will do.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see quite a bit of that. But it's interesting that Chris James has only made one substitution so far. He's going to make another one, I think, in a few moments' time.
I can't believe it, John. It's a miracle. He's up. Tell you what, that was very Luke Kearney-esque, that was. He's always going down, wasting time.
Good evening to you, Luke, if you're watching us today or listening. Nice control in from the Army's Ryan Fagan. But the Army have just got to keep their control here and their poise. The Navy are all over them with Foch.
Yeah,
Roche actually outside onto that far side, goes out for a throw-in.
I think the next goal wins it, really, John.
Well, the Navy are looking really composed here. That's a beautiful move. Oh, great punch from the goalkeeper. Yeah. Made the challenge, and he wins the free kick. But was the flag up for offside anyway?
Yeah, goes back to our earlier comments about leaving that flag late, John.
You know,
I thought he was off. Flag didn't go up. Next thing, he's involved in a collision with the goalkeeper.
Yep. But did the flag go up at all? It didn't go up at all. So I think that he was onside. There's going to be another break in play here.
Yeah. That physio was poised, though. He was poised. He had very Miranda-esque. He was poised to go on.
He wanted his moment.
Yeah, he's been dying to get on the pitch.
He is up now.
Yeah, he's up.
So that's good. You don't see players down, and that's, of course, it's Sol Roche.
You can see by the Navy shape as well. Now, John, looks like they're going to a back 6 by the looks of it from here. Oh, they're definitely going to a back 5. I think they're going to see out this game now, John. Navy have gone for a 5-3-2.
Well, Roche.
I can definitely see the ball's been a lot longer now. And there we go.
Yeah, it's kitchen sink time for the Army. They've got to go more direct and get bodies forward.
Yeah. And the Navy will just keep them at bay.
Absolutely. And I can see this being a bit of a tennis match now.
Well, let's just see.
Luke Trice. That's a superb ball in behind. That's superb. Got to chase on it, though. There's just no pressure on him.
Good defensive play. Jack Wright, who has been here, there and everywhere. Got the penalty. Scored. Didn't win the penalty. Scored the penalty. that has put the Navy in front. Are they going to retain their Inter Services Under-23 title that they won in, so say, controversial circumstances last season?
That decision to get that friendly on last week's looking more and more inspired.
Yeah, it's paid off for him. It's definitely paid off for him.
It has.
But here we go. The Army got half a chance here.
And it's cleared away again. Amazingly cleared away by Jack Wright.
Yeah, it's right in the corner again.
He's been brilliant. He's a captain led by example tonight. And I know he was the most important man that Chris James wanted to have in his team this evening.
There'll be a Rory Delap style sort of throw here from Aaron Moore. Hopefully the Army can capitalise from this.
It's a good
Their
long
chances
throw.
Are running
Headed
out.
clear by, would you believe, by Wright again. And
Aaron Moore with the ball in the
Walker.
Ball in the box. No. He's done enough there. He's won a corner, I think.
Yeah, he has won a corner.
They've got to capitalise on this, John, because I think they're running out of chances. I don't know where they're going to find that next goal, to be honest.
So
it's now or never.
It really is squeaky bums time, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Great corner coming in, headed down, but cleared away by Roche for the Navy. He's been absolutely immense tonight as this young man.
Superb choice. He's had a great game. He's been superb.
Nice ball.
He's
There've been some outstanding performances from both teams this evening, and it's been such an exciting game. I hope that you've been with us. If you've been with us right from the start, you'd agree. But whoever long you've been with us, and that is definitely a free kick.
It could be off here, John. I think that could be a second yellow.
It was the number 2, wasn't it?
Yes.
He's going to be shown a second yellow card.
I think he is, John. Let's have a look. Yes, John, he's off. The Navy are down to 10 men.
Yeah. And that is Matthew Eyston, who is having to leave the field.
For the second time, this Inter Services Navy with 10 men with a result to hold on to.
Yes, he's made it a lot more interesting now.
Did he take one for the team there, I wonder?
I don't know.
The Navy are going to make another change here. Stephen Griffiths is preparing to come on, but he won't be able to come on before the free kick, will he?
I don't know, I think...
Unless the referee sees it. He has seen it. So another change is being made by the Navy. And the man coming off is Braden Jones. So crucial moments then in this 2023 Inter Services Under-23 Championship. Free kick to the Army. Opportunity for them. Remember, if they score, they win the title.
Yeah, next goal wins it, John.
Free kick comes in. People on the end of it. Oh, and it's cleared away. But there was an offside flag anyway.
So close, John, so close.
So pressure relieved on the Navy.
By the looks of it, John, they've put Danny Constable up top now. So they put one of their centre backs straight up top, and they're going to throw the kitchen sink at it. Danny actually plays a striker for his civvy team, actually. So
yeah. So Dane Rigby just winding the clock down, kicks it long, headed on, free kick. The throw-in goes to the Army, or to the Navy, I should say. He'll be in no hurry at all to take it.
We're in the dying seconds now, John.
Paddy Augusta says, hang in there, you Navy boys. Best wishes for the speedy recovery. For the Army lad, stretchered off, and that was Bryant Polius. We wish Bryant all the very best and hope that he does make a very speedy recovery. Army clearing their lines, but it's not where they need to be. They need to be at the other end of the field. This is absolutely what the Navy wants. And they win it. Well won again, and they've won a corner.
I think this could be game, set, match, John. Yeah, they look like they're going to keep it in the corner now, John. Really die down that clock.
Yeah, the corner's taken quickly, but it's
Here we go.
Hart gives the opportunity and a chance to bring the ball forward. Oof, that was a full-blooded tackle as well.
Yeah, superb.
From McCormack, who of course has already been booked.
Let's give it. There we go.
He's brought one.
You can see what it means to the Navy boys. Every single thing they win at the moment, it's almost like they've scored another goal.
Yeah, they can see that whistle, a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. There we go, there's a final whistle.
And that is the final whistle. And the Royal Navy have retained the Inter Services under-23 title. And that was, well, not necessarily what we expected, because when the Army equalised, we thought they might go on and win it. They looked stronger, but then the Navy won a penalty. Well, my goodness me, it's that sort of a game, isn't it? That's how football goes.
I think we didn't expect it either, just with the Army's result last week against the Air Force. But that's the thing with football. When you come into a game only needing a draw to win, it can sometimes give you that false sense of security. Fair play to the Navy. They had to win tonight, and they have.
Yeah, they were superb. They look more of a threat going forward, and they were clinical. And they fully deserved it tonight. So, yeah, congratulations to the Navy.
Well, it was been a highly competitive fixture. We're hoping to get some instant reaction from the winning team, the Navy captain, of course, Jack Wright, and hoping we're going to get some instant reaction from them before the presentation is made. The presentation will happen in front of us here in the main stand, and the trophy will go back to the Royal Navy again. And, well, the sort of game that it could have gone either way. And we knew, of course, after the first match, because that ended 0-0, that it would be decided tonight. There was no chance of a competition being won in the second game, and it's made it all the more exciting for us as well to enjoy.
The Navy will be over the moon with that. I've been on the either side of a winning Inter Services and a losing Inter Services, so I know the feeling how the Army lads are feeling right now. But the Navy will be absolutely over the moon with that.
Yeah, they will. And there's an awful lot of support for the Navy boys here tonight, as you would expect, and a lot of happy faces amongst those Navy players. Let's just see if we can hopefully get some instant reaction from the Navy team. I'd really like to hear the thoughts of their captain tonight. You've got to feel for Gowan Griffith and the Army lads tonight. And Leon Duke says, enjoyed that game. Good work, lads, and congratulations to the Navy. Paul Thompson, big applause to the Royal Navy. And Bob Rutherford says, well done to the Navy. So I think in just a few moments' time, we will have Jack Wright available to talk to Kath Brazier, the triumphant Royal Navy captain, of course, and he scored that winning goal. And wasn't he cool from the penalty spot? Wasn't he cool?
Yeah, big pressure on that penalty, but as the skipper, he stepped up.
He's just going to join in the celebratory photograph.
No, don't worry, we've got
Okay,
it.
and he's going to come back now, and he's with Kath.
Yeah, you've got to be in that, John. It's for the Instagram, isn't it? You've got to.
Jack, congratulations. I have to say, people weren't doubting you from last year, but you really, really put all your critics to bed tonight.
Yeah, I think after that first game, we didn't really show up after that first game. We wanted to show we were better than that. I think it was a pretty poor game tonight, but second balls, I think we just wanted it more, and obviously got the win, which is what we needed. Happy with that.
You look like the better side. You played the Army, you sort of dampened them down and played them at their own game. Do you think that won it for you?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. We knew what they wanted to do. We knew they wanted to be direct, so we just went 5 at the back, play for second balls, just stop them doing what they do best, and I think that's obviously worked for us.
Personally, a red card in that first game, managed to squeeze in a friendly in between.
I think it was a harsh red card, I might add, but...
what I was going to say, isn't it ironic that you then came on and scored that winning penalty?
Yeah. I think obviously with the experience, a lot of the lads were scared to take a pen, so I said I'd step up all week, and it's happened. So, and I scored in the first half as well, but it's been ruled out, which I'm going to have to look at, because I don't think that was offside, but
Well, we're here for you guys. You know, refs, I'm sure will look back on it, and I'm sure you will look back on that game as well. Any shout-outs you want to give? I mean, Chris James has run a really good campaign for you as well, and he's such a sort of organised head coach as well.
Yeah, I think he's unbelievable. I think obviously after the first game he's recognised what we needed to do here to get the win. It was never going to be pretty. We knew it wasn't going to be pretty, but he recognised. He's had sleepless nights. He's admitted that, and it's obviously paid off. So we're happy with the win.
What do celebrations look for under-23 champions?
Same as last year. We were fancy dressed last year, but I think this year it's more of a legitimate win. So I think we'll, it's probably going to be messy. But we've got to be out by 9 in the morning, so I don't know.
Okay, not too messy then. You're under 23. You can't get that bad of hangovers.
No. Well, I'm one of the older boys now. I feel like an old man, so I think I'll keep it clean tonight. Let them enjoy it.
Jack, congratulations, a really well-deserved win, and go and enjoy the rest of the night with your teammates.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, Jack right there talking to Kath Brazier, getting an instant reaction, and a very triumphant player. So it's time now for the presentations.
Spectators and the viewers of BFBS, to thank you all for a fantastic game of football tonight. Really, really great competitive game, played in the true spirit of an inter-service competition. You know, up until the last, literally the last minute of extra time, it could have gone either way. I think both teams put everything into it. Some fantastic individual performances, but more importantly, some great team performances. And I wish, obviously, your player who went off on the stretcher, we wish him a speedy recovery and all being well. It goes without saying that the game wouldn't be the game without the four officials who at best tried to allow the game to proceed as best they could in an open and competitive game, so thank you both for that. So I think in the first instance we're going to ask the match officials if they'd like to make their way up, and Mr David McGarrell from the ESS, who is the primary sponsor for the Royal Navy U23 development team, will present mementos.
So the three officials there, and all the men coming up first of all to receive the applause of both players. It's not been an easy game for Mark Foreman to referee, as he, I'm sure, expected. He had to show quite a few yellows and, of course, a red card at the end there with Flight Lieutenant George Shalloway, Flight Sergeant Steve Monks, and the fourth official, Ryan Shepherd, as well, Corporal Ryan Shepherd, all receiving their mementos for their contribution to this final match of the championship.
And the winners of the 2022-2023 Under-23s Inter Service Championships are the Royal Navy.
Receive the trophy, receive their winners' medals. Led by Bradley Cox there and Matthew Eyston, Josh Mead-Nins, Braden Jones, the goalkeeper, Dane Rigby. Made a couple of important saves, James Venning. Manny Roche had a really important part to play, as did his brother, just receiving his medal now. All the players coming up, and of course right at the back will be the captain. He led from the front, Jack Wright. Not only did he have a goal disallowed in the first half, but of course he also scored that all-important penalty that won the tournament and retained the title for the Royal Navy. And he is about then to lift the trophy aloft. He'll take it down to join the rest of his team. Happy group of players as the Army players, some of them just remaining to applaud their opponents, some of whom they'll be up against, I'm sure, in the seniors competition when that kicks off very, very shortly. And just to remind you that here on BFBS Sport, we'll be bringing you all the action from this year's Inter Services competitions, both men and women, and we'll be showing you the UCAF team as well. But just very quick before we go, a quick final word then from my two special guests here this evening, Sean Thompson and Phil Bright. Great to have you with us, guys, this evening, and an enjoyable night.
Enjoyable in the end, yeah. Obviously, I didn't have a preference before kick-off tonight. However, I think over the balance of the 3 games, I think the Navy probably deserved it. They've undefeated in 2 games. You deserve to win the title.
And Tomo, final thought from you.
Oh, I totally echo what Brighty said there. He's hit the nail on the head. I think in the end, the Navy are a bit more clinical and they deserve the win. So congratulations to the Navy, and go again next year, John.
And they are the champions. Gentlemen, thank you ever so much for your time this evening, for joining us. And that's it from our coverage live here from the Victory Stadium in Portsmouth. From myself, John Knighton. Thanks to all our team here, Kath Brazier, to Roger and Chris Giles on camera, Christopher Angwin and Craig Tilley as well. And back in the studio to our director this evening, to Sarah Burles, and also Scott Richmond on the technical side. But from me, John Knighton, and all of us this evening, it's a very good evening. And thank you for joining us for our live coverage here from Portsmouth for the Inter Services Under-23 Championship.
It's quick, it's exciting. You're always on your toes, you never know what to expect. Expect the unexpected.
I don't think anyone realises how fast and furious it is. It's a relentless game, there's nothing else like it.
Sharp, snappy, fast-paced, accurate, skillful, lots of tactics. It deserves to be there for all to see.